Police. Bitch. Police. Bitch.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Before we begin today's show, I'd like to take a moment of silence for all those lost in the line of duty. All right, let's try this again, Mike. You're live.
George the architect, Jay-Z the architect, filling in for the unknown detective who's on a brief hiatus. You ever seen the movie Groundhog Day?
Yes.
Where you feel like it's the same thing over and over again?
Yep.
Do you feel like you've been here before? Now, I know you've been here before, but do you feel like maybe minutes ago even?
Yeah, actually, this feels very
familiar?
Very, very familiar.
Like we almost started the show like 10 minutes ago and then had to stop?
What was that movie from?
Groundhog Day.
It was Groundhog Day. We just said it, George.
There was also the one with what's his name? The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was
Kindergarten Cop?
No, there was one that where it was just kept replaying things over and over. Yeah, it just seemed kind
Twins.
of whatever.
Twins?
Anyway, whatever. But anyway, thanks.
Throw Mama from the Train?
No.
Okay.
Anyway,
Running Man.
Thank you.
No,
thank you.
That's not it.
Thank you for having me here in this beautiful studio, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's the Tactical Financial Studio is our sponsor.
Lovely downtown Phillipsburg.
In lovely downtown Phillipsburg, New Jersey. Depending on your view of what lovely is. I mean, it probably took you about 30 minutes to go 3 blocks right out here, right?
Yeah, the traffic was a little bit crazy. I knew there was something going on. I was like,
across the river in Easton, they got a festival going on, so they got the bridge down to 1 lane, and everybody doesn't want to pay the $3 toll at the toll bridge. They want to go over the free bridge.
I paid it.
You did pay the toll.
Yeah, I'm contributing.
Well,
to,
so let
to
me
the
explain to you, George. The way George got here is the way this show started off, and then we had to stop it. He came from New Jersey. He went over the toll bridge.
New York first.
New York to New Jersey. He went over the toll bridge into Pennsylvania, came all the way down, looped around, and came back over the free bridge, and then came here, which actually probably saved you.
It saved me
about 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Crazy.
I didn't want to get here late. So.
No, thank you for doing that. How did you enjoy the Gara's feast that we had today from Gara's
Oh my God,
Pizza?
that was really, really good. I'm surprised.
I should get them to be a paid sponsor.
Outside of New York.
Today's show is brought to you by Gara's Pizza.
Yeah, but outside of New York, Mike, that was really good pizza. That was really good. That Stromboli.
So we got the cheese steak Stromboli.
Right.
We got the upside down Sicilian with the classy, nice pepperoni.
I didn't have.
Oh, it's to die for. I give that a 8.3. That's that pie. And then we had the what do you give it, Josh? Mo? Shit.
You're Campy shows up at well, no, hypothetically. He shows up in a really good mood, put it that way.
Right.
And he doesn't mess my name up at all during the show. This is why your show starts off with echoes and wrong.
And then we got
I kind of do it to you on purpose. Just blow by whatever I'm saying.
And then Mo got the buffalo chicken salad. I didn't say his full name.
Another drink.
A sip. It was only half his name. And then we also got the antipasto.
That was really.
We like to
antipasto.
It's like Antichrist, but it's salad instead of Jesus on the cross. So we like to have a nice spread.
Not like a little sacrilege to start the day.
We like to have a nice spread when we have.
Listen, that alone was worth the trip. I'm going to be honest. It was really, really good, Mike. I came here not expecting, I wasn't expecting food, but
yeah,
when you told me, hey, I got this coming up, I'm like, oh, well, how good could it be in Phillipsburg?
The Blue Podcast Network LLC is a top.
No, you did good.
Organization.
You did good.
And we have the 7 viewers right now watching us to prove it.
No, you actually touched 11 there for a
11?
minute, Mike.
Wow.
And
I don't know if I like the way that sounded.
Those are like 6 of them are my relatives.
Yeah.
It's all George's devices that he has logged
Are
on.
you Puerto Rican?
Yeah, well, technically no. My parents are from Puerto Rico. I was born here, but of Puerto Rican descent, yes. So
how are you?
Where does that fit
technically?
Where does that fit in Trump's
I'm American.
definition?
I was born here. I have my birth certificate says America.
Say the Pledge of Allegiance right now. You see, this is how it starts.
I will build a great wall.
I'm okay
on
with
our
that.
southern border, and I will have
okay with
Mexico pay for that wall.
So
yes,
mark my words.
So George, since the last time you were here, when we set up and we redid the booth inside, which really showed great results today, amazing results today of all the hard work you did in there. What's new? It's been about 2 weeks, right, since we saw you last.
No, actually last week.
Oh, you were here last? Oh, right. I showed up last week when I didn't have a podcast because I'm dedicated. What have you been up to since last week? Anything new?
Yeah, we did a in the Bronx. We did a charity boxing event.
Okay, plugs are at the end of the show, but go ahead. It's okay.
But
That's all right.
You asked me.
We had a pre-production meeting. We talked about plugs. It says right there at the end.
I'm not plugging. I'm just telling you. You asked me.
Okay, that's true. Go ahead.
I'm telling you.
Go ahead.
So we did a boxing show for New York City Cops and Kids, and we'll talk about that later on the plug.
Right, but Cops and Kids, was Dave involved?
Yes,
Dave. I haven't seen Dave in quite some time.
Dave Steve, yeah, Dave Steve right now is in Colombia. They're doing another boxing event over there also.
A smoker in Colombia.
A smoker in Colombia, in Cali, Colombia.
On the road.
Somebody's definitely got machetes there. 100%.
I was supposed to be there. That got shut down.
Why?
At home.
Okay.
I didn't get the.
You didn't get the sign off?
I didn't get the 28.
No excusals.
Yeah, I had no excusals.
The passport's hidden somewhere in the house. You don't know where it is, and the real ID is gone too.
Yeah, that's all gone.
Get out of the country.
I couldn't get out.
All right,
but that's okay. We really excited about the program and what we do, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I was doing that. I'm a boxing commentator for that program. I'm very proud of it and what we do, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Later on in the plug section.
I got nothing going on in my life.
You did nothing from last Saturday till today. You have nothing, absolutely zero.
Well, I fell down 4 stairs off my deck and almost killed myself.
Okay, that's something.
I got like a.
Oh my God! Who the hell cares?
He's got a boo boo.
When
can you zoom in
on that?
Yeah, that's a boo boo.
When you not the biceps, the cut.
Look,
so
he's got a scratch.
Do you ever fall and just wait and then a second or two just to make sure for that pain to come? Like, did I break my leg? Did I twist my ankle?
Oh, like a self-assessment? Like you did a self-assessment?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was pulling a shed up onto my deck and by myself. My brother was down in the yard doing something. I don't want to bother him. It's a big one.
Okay.
And I was pulling it up by those plastic straps around the box. It's a 4x6 shed.
Okay.
And I was pulling it up the stairs.
Was it
on a high level?
Did it have stuff in it?
Or? The full shed was in it.
Okay.
And then somehow my foot got trapped between the box and the stairs, and I fell over in a slow motion. And then
mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Yeah, and then landed on my elbow. My leg got caught, and I thought I heard a twisting noise. And no one was home except my brother. My wife was out, so I just laid there for like 10 seconds to make sure nothing was broken or anything like this. This is the age when you get to this age. How old are you?
Oh God, I'm gonna be 57 in June.
I'll be 60
next month.
60 in November.
I'll be 50 in
57.
September.
Listen, you know how bad it is when you hit over your 50s that when you wake up and you get hurt waking up. You ever had that? Like
Yes.
you just get up out of bed and all of a sudden,
How long do you lay in bed when you wake up for?
man, I try to do it. It's in stages. I do it in
Yeah,
stages.
yes, definitely.
So
definitely.
first you lay there and you kind of self-assess. Okay,
Yes.
is everything?
I'm
working?
alive.
I'm still
I'm
alive.
alive,
Yep,
yeah,
I'm still
yeah,
here.
yeah.
This is not heaven.
Right.
And then I start wiggling a little bit, my toes, my feet. I'm like, okay, that works. And then I start doing the
Do
shoulders.
you grab the phone and try to get a little update before you get out of bed and just look at a few things, or do you get right out of bed?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Then I start doing a little bit roll just to make sure the
Yep.
back is okay.
Yep.
Then I start moving up, and then once I sit down, I'm like, okay.
How long
I'm good.
before you get out of bed before you have that? Do you drink coffee
Yes, I do,
before your first cup of what coffee? What's your go-to?
dude.
Cafe Bustelo.
Of course.
Boom. Me too.
That's-
So how long before you? What do you drink?
Dunkin'
Well,
Donuts.
what?
Dunkin' Donuts. Yes.
You're-
Bustelo.
Bustelo. Listen, that's
Dude.
not coffee, dude. That's
I-
like water with a little bit of brown water stuff in
in
it.
Dunkin'
Like,
Donuts.
yeah,
Yeah, I grew up in Union City. I grew up in a town where that was the staple. Was
dude, that's like the best coffee.
Yeah.
man.
So how long?
that's
before,
real coffee.
from the time you get up to the time you have your first cup, how much time passes between?
Could be about 15-20 minutes.
That long?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess if I'm on my phone, it might take a little bit of time too.
No, I mean you got.
And how many
go to the
cups?
Bathroom, wash my face. brush
Do you
my
use
teeth.
the K cups or do you make it in a pot?
No, I make it in a pot. So
Oh, okay.
I got the whole
Yep.
Italian,
The hoe.
the whole
You have a
Italian.
Italian hoe.
Wow. Jeez.
I wonder
Yikes.
why your wife doesn't
I got-
want
I
you to go
got
to
the-
Columbia.
Be gone, son!
I got the whole, the what do you call it?
The press?
No, not the
Oh.
press.
Just
So-
a
You
regular
have a
coffee
pressing
maker.
hoe?
No, you put the water and then it comes up. And
Yeah.
I don't do the sock
How much,
thing.
I
how
do
much
the-
does a hoeing press, a pro pressing hoe go for?
In pesos or American dollars, U.S. currency? It
Um,
depends.
What do they use in Colombia?
If you add the tariff into it's usually like $5 U.S. currency. But
Oh,
with
the tariff. Yes. Yeah,
it's
the tariff
500
drives up.
It's
Yes.
$505.
Yes.
Okay,
now.
whole.
So I use the K
WHOL.
cups because it's quick.
No, I don't use K cups.
But but there's 1, 2, or
I'm
3.
afraid of microplastics with K cups. That's why I don't.
I don't mind microplastic free. It says it right on it.
Yeah. Bull.
Yeah.
That's
So
bull.
I do it the small. I get it's only like that much, so it's really strong.
I mix mine.
Yeah,
I do
like
it
almost-
with milk.
It's a little. I use the Dunkin' Donuts cream and sugar. It's mixed in it. It's what they
Oh,
use there.
so
Just a drop.
Wait
I
a
need a
minute.
little bit of flavor in there.
okay, that's fine.
Just a little,
I
not
don't
a
know.
flavor,
But
but
now you're double dipping because you're talking about Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts, the creamer, not the
Mo,
coffee.
what's up with that, Mo? I mean,
What's the difference? What do you? What
You-
milk are you
I mean,
using?
I really, I mean,
That's not real
You just,
coffee,
you just,
dude.
you just shit on me
What milk
for the
are you
Dunkin'
using?
Donuts.
I know that's what I'm
What
saying.
milk are
That's
you
it.
using?
If
that
George
makes
is
yours real and
George
mine
is
not
doing
real?
if George is doing Bustelo, he is 100% steaming his milk. He probably has the milk whipper, the
I
thing, that-
actually the frother. Yeah,
the
actually.
frother. See,
Yeah,
the
actually.
frother. You gotta have frothing hoe now.
Yeah.
Mo, you do not froth your milk.
I do.
Every morning when
Well,
you
okay.
Cafe Bustelo, you froth your milk.
Yeah, why
Fuck
not?
that.
Mike, I'm not gonna lie. Listen,
He does look like a frother though. doesn't he?
I'm not gonna lie.
And a fluffer.
There was a bring out the flubber. There was a stretch of time where Stacy was making me. She had a little metal pot that she would make the coffee on the
That's
stove.
what I'm talking
And
about.
Mo, little frother, little.
Okay.
So I
George,
know what
what's
he's
wrong with
talking
that?
about.
That's
Believe
good
that.
stuff.
You want to know why? He has a bell. I don't know if the listening audience knows this or not. Mo has a bell. He sits in his recliner like a fucking king. And you know, like that bell from Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Shame! And they ring the bell. Shame!
Really?
Everyone,
He
we
ring-
have an announcement to make.
He rings,
Stop bullying!
he rings the bell, and then she comes and brings him charcuterie boards
Okay.
with all sorts of meats and cheeses and his drink.
This is in the morning
Yeah.
for breakfast.
Anytime of the day. No, whenever,
whenever,
he
whenever.
rings
Well, you
the
got to
bell.
give the backstory to the bell, though. The
Whenever
bell,
he rings
the
the
bell
bell,
was
she comes to
gifted.
call it.
The bell was gifted to me, and it's a sacred bell. The bell
Is it a
was
whole
used.
bell? It's a
the-
whole bell.
It was used by my uncle
Okay.
when he was dying of cancer, and he would ring the bell, and my aunt would come, and if he needed something, this way he didn't have to get out of bed. So when he had passed, my aunt gave me that bell. So my wife has a standing order that she cannot defy the bell. You
Okay,
can't. That's my
so-
that's
so
my
let's
uncle's
just-
dying
okay,
bell.
so the
You can't
tragedy of
defy
your-
it.
So basically, you're using the tragedy of your uncle's cancer death to have your wife wait on you hand and foot with
All right, it
wines
sounds
and
a lot
cheeses.
worse when you say it out
I don't
loud.
know how much worse it can sound than that, my friend. All right, listen, that's our little BS rap session
Okay,
I like to do
got
in the
it.
beginning.
Wrap it
Because
up.
really, this is not for the studio, the home audience. This is us. We're just talking.
Just talking.
Yeah. But let's do something for
Just
the home
hang out.
audience now.
Okay.
Let's play a little game called Uncensored's Bang, Marry, Kill.
Bang, marry, kill.
Yeah. This is a
Explain it to
hypothetical.
me because I don't know
Okay.
what that is.
I understand you're married. I know what you got to say. Yeah. Bang, marry, kill means we're gonna put 3 people up on the screen. See, Uncensored's Bang,
Oh.
Marry, Kill.
Got it.
We're gonna put
It's up there on the screen, Mike.
and
There
it's
it
a
is. I did
it's
it.
a law
Those are
enforcement-
actually pretty cool graphics.
It's a law. I'm pretty good at this stuff. It's a law
pretty
enforcement version.
Okay.
So we're gonna put 3 law enforcement officers up on the screen.
Okay.
One you got to bang, allegedly,
Okay.
hypothetically.
Oh god.
One you got to marry.
Okay.
One you got to kill. As
This is
they
not-
go up
this-
on the screen, I'm going to tell you the backstory on
This
each
is
one of
not
these.
this is not
What-
going to end well,
what-
George.
All right.
Wait a minute. What's that thing that you played? The views expressed by the guest?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
we
yeah.
already
You're gonna
covered it. We already covered that. You're
Yeah,
covered.
'cause,
Yeah, you're covered. Don't
Okay,
worry
honey,
about it.
listen to me.
Yeah.
This is
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers
Thank
and do
you.
not
That's my-
necessarily reflect the views
You're off the hook.
or
I'm off the hook.
positions
Yeah.
of any
Yeah,
entities
thank
they
you. I
represent.
appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, Mo. Thank
so
you. Just-
bang, marry, kill.
I won't be sleeping on the
Let's
sofa.
and
tonight.
we want the home audience to vote too. We
Oh,
want
boy.
everybody to
Okay,
get
so
in.
comments can come in.
They can call in at 908-926-4010 if they have a strong opinion
Now-
on who they want to bang, marry, and
Now,
kill.
disclaimer. Give the disclaimer again.
Okay.
If you're going to
if you're
call
gonna
in,
call in, turn the volume down.
no. If
Oh,
you're
no.
going to call in, do not be calling in from the device that you are watching the show on.
Yeah, that. What he said.
Or turn off the show and then call in.
Yeah, turn on
Yeah.
the
Then,
show
and then go
call
watch
in.
the show.
Yeah, and then go watch the
Okay.
show.
All
So
right.
908-926-4010 in case anybody has a strong opinion.
Sure.
I'm going to put them up
I
on
would
the board.
love to have people come in and call.
Mo's
call in.
going to put
That'd
them
be
up
great.
on the board,
Okay.
up on the screen. Now, you're going to, anybody, okay, so number 1
Whoa,
in
okay.
Bang, Marry, Kill, this is New York. We represented New York.
Yes.
This is the female officer detective that did the rap video that was twerking in the rap
Right,
video.
right.
NYPD twerker. That's 1. That's New York. Dilly
Okay.
dilly. Okay. Number 2, that's the officer in Tennessee that got the train ran on. her.
Okay.
She got banged like 6 cops that she worked with.
I
It was
mean,
a big scandal.
You couldn't come up with something better than that. I mean,
I'm
that's.
not a newspaper. I'm saying it how it is.
I mean, you gotta
she
something.
didn't. Well, okay, hold on a second. She
She
didn't.
did something with
Hold on a
some
second.
people.
Hold on a second. She didn't have a train run on her.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
All right, the
I did
Tennessee
not.
cop had
Oh, hi, Mark.
relations with multiple partners, one after the other.
Okay.
Does that really make
She
a
had a
difference?
train run on her.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's so it's New York twerker, Tennessee train. Number 3, Tom's River. This officer just happened.
Okay.
She kicked in. She damaged the car and then broke through a glass door.
Yeah, she broke into somebody's house or something.
And allegedly, we have to say allegedly still because this is still ongoing.
Right. Right.
And she hurt a couple of people, assaulted a couple of people.
Okay.
So-
Allegedly.
Right. So we got New York twerker, we
Oh,
got
boy.
Tennessee train, and we got Tom's River terror.
Okay.
All right. Now you got to bang one,
Oh god.
you got to marry one, and you got to kill one.
Okay. Wow.
Go.
Okay.
And you got to say why.
Oh my god.
You can't just say
Dude,
bang.
you're gonna get me kicked
No,
out.
I'm not saying why. Like, oh, I like her boobs. I'm saying you got to say something like, oh, I'm gonna bang this one because that one's too crazy. I'm gonna marry this one because she looks like a sweetheart. I'm gonna
Mo,
kill
why
that
is my
one.
face like on a close up?
You want me to go first?
Dude, I'm sweating right
You
now.
want me to go first?
Yeah, please.
All right, good. Let's go.
Good.
Funny backstory. Oh no, that's later on. Can you not? My beard. I feel like my beard looks like a Billy Goat's beard today. All right, bang, marry, kill.
Bang, hold on, just for refresh.
Right.
Refresh.
Okay.
Refresh.
Oh my
All
god.
right. I'm killing the Tennessee broad.
Jesus.
Right. I can't stand her 5-head. She's
Okay.
got her. I don't like the 5-head, so she's gone.
Okay, you
She's
can play-
dead.
you can play-
Goodbye. Now, hypothetically speaking,
Can I agree with you at the same time?
I'm gonna-
Can we do it at the same time?
No,
No,
you're
no,
next.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
God.
I'm gonna bang the New York twerker.
Okay.
She's hot. I'll bang her.
Okay.
I'm gonna marry the Tom's River broad because I'm afraid of spiders. And if she does to spiders what she does to civilians, I'm always be safe.
Gotcha.
Because right now my wife kills the spiders in the house.
Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
I'm afraid of spiders. I'm not afraid to admit that. So I'm banging the
Acrophobia, right? You have acrophobia? Is that what they call it?
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
So
So
you're
I'm gonna-
banging in New York,
I'm
bro.
banging New York. I'm marrying Tom's River. I'm killing Tennessee. Go.
Okay.
No,
let's
you're
start-
not off the hook. You're going third.
Okay, let's start with Tennessee.
Okay.
Kill.
You're killing her too.
Kill.
She's dead.
She's
DOA.
dead. She's done.
Tennessee's dead.
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody's
Fatality.
calling in. They're all afraid to call in and say what they would.
No,
they
nobody
would do.
feels like getting divorced
I
this
don't care.
weekend.
It's just a radio show. It's all in fun.
Oh,
Stop it.
Dawn's gonna chime in too. She said,
Okay.
This is gonna get weird, but all right.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so you're killing Tennessee.
Tennessee's done. What is Blue saying?
No. You finish yours. Don't
Okay,
try to
okay,
get out.
okay,
Who
okay.
you kill?
So,
Who you marrying? Who you gonna
Oh,
bang?
man. I think I think I'll probably New York City.
Yeah. What about her?
Bang.
You're gonna bang New York City?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I work for the city.
Okay.
And then marry
If I was your wife,
the
I'd be
spider
mad.
chick.
It's not spider
You're gonna
shit.
marry Spider Chick too?
Yeah,
I'm only speculating that she'd probably kill spiders like she messed up people, but
yeah.
all right, so we
I'm
agree.
only because the New York City chick probably draws a lot of attention. Just walking around with her body the way she is and stuff like that.
I didn't really comment
I-
on anybody's body, but
No,
I'm
that's-
comfortable
yeah, I
doing
know.
that.
That-
You're a lady watching.
That got kind of weird, bro.
Little
I mean,
I'm
disrespectful
just
to
saying,
your
no,
wife,
it's just
but
a
that's
lot
okay.
of attention.
Now I know why you can't go to Columbia.
there it is.
I feel like the New York City girl is Colombian, and that's probably why you picked her, because you can't go to Columbia.
Oh my
Ow.
gosh. There you go. You see?
All right, Mo,
Play
you
with
go.
fire, you get burned.
Mo, you go.
I go. All right. I think I'm the same with you. I think the Tennessee broad has to go.
Just to go.
Yeah, I think she's got to go.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm flipping it around though.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm banging the Tom's River broad
Really?
because she's psycho, and,
And
so
just-
you know
And
she's got to
the
be.
other one's not.
You know she's got to be a
They're
great
all
time.
psycho.
The one, well, yes. Well, that's the estrogen. She can't.
Oh,
help it.
I'm not. I don't want any part of those comments. That's.
Like, yeah, no.
Can you
so
play
I-
that disclaimer thing again? I don't want to.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. That's right.
George
I
is
should've-
worried about getting in trouble. You just said all women are psycho.
I should.
That's going to play well for our next guest when she comes out here. That's great.
I didn't
The
say
views
all
and
women.
opinions expressed in
You
this
said
program
they all.
are those of the speakers
So
and
who
do
are you-
not necessarily
Mo, who are
reflect
you,
the
who
views
you-
or
you're marrying
positions
Tom's
of
River?
any entities they represent.
Or you're banging Tom's River.
Yes, I believe that I am banging Tom's River, but see I don't
She'll
know
be at your
because
house breaking windows. And fucking
well, that's why you got to marry.
That's why you marry her.
Ah,
Then you just keep it behind closed doors. You don't got to worry about anything. There's no doors to break down, right? There's no fucking cars to damage.
we got somebody calling in.
Really?
Yeah, we'll answer it up and then we'll bring them up. Let me. I will finish though, and I will say that I am. I'm gonna bang the Tom's River broad, and I am going to marry the New York broad, and that's probably not
You
going
see
to work
how
out well.
excited I
for me.
was about having a caller call to the show. It's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna bang the Tom's River broad, and I am going to.
You see, he's got to turn off the show. Whoever's calling, you see, they can't follow Rule 1, bro. They can't follow Rule 1.
please, caller, please turn off the show and just.
He's got to turn off the show. Whoever's calling, you see.
Yeah, we're gonna get
They
that.
can't follow rule.
Yep,
Repeat it.
you got to turn off the show, bro.
The show's off.
Oh, now it's off. Well, now it's off. It wasn't
Different
off.
devices.
Hey, caller, who are you? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You know who this is, Mofo.
Oh, here he goes. You know what?
Interesting.
It's the no-show guy,
Yeah.
and it's amazing that you can actually call.
Did you throw out your back banging a Tom's River broad? Is that why you weren't here last week?
No, actually, I was number 7 in line in Tennessee,
Oh, okay.
and I hurt my back having to wait too long.
For those who doesn't know, this is Tom the Cigar Man, host of the Blue Room podcast, calling into my show, Uncensored with Mike the Cop, with special guest Jay-Z the Architect. Tom, could you please hypothetically tell us your three, what you would do?
First off, Michael, I would like to say hello to George,
Okay.
and I'm going to apologize on your behalf to George for the filthy and disgusting language and content that God-fearing man has to sit through.
I discussed all this
Thank
with
you.
him beforehand.
Thank you. And I told you.
saying.
Listen, Jesus already
Just saying,
died on the
listen,
cross
when
for
I
our
do a
sins.
show,
I'm not
I know
doing anything.
I know my guests and I know my audience. You just threw it right out there. Said, I don't really care about you, George. I'm going to talk filth. That's
It is
what you
true. It is true. But I do kind of agree with Mike.
George, you're gonna allow that?
Jesus died for
You
our
know-
sins. If we're not going to sin, we kind of
Yes.
wasted his
Yeah.
effort.
I'm not going to waste my Lord and Savior's death on not sinning once in a while. No, this is a small sin. This is a small one.
The baby sin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Thank you,
What's
Tom.
your
I
favorite
appreciate
Jesus? of all Jesuses.
What do you mean, like on TV shows and stuff?
No, like my favorite Jesus.
Because I was gonna say the guy on The Chosen. I think he's pretty good.
Well, first of all, the Passion of the Christ was the best Jesus.
Oh no, that guy.
Oh, that's Jim Caviezel.
But what I'm gonna say is,
Yeah.
did you watch that movie?
Yes, I did.
Did you cry?
You know you have a caller, right?
Yeah,
I'm fucking ignoring you.
Wow.
Pick up.
I just wanted to make sure you remember that I was here. Okay. No, carry on.
Maybe
You guys keep
when
going.
don't start out by insulting me. Maybe I'll pay attention to you. All right, come on, listen.
All right.
Tell me what you do. Who would you bang? Who would you marry? Who would you kill?
All right, I'm going to tell you who. I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah, that's the
whole point, Tommy. You got the,
First
apparently
of
you
all,
understand
New
the rules of the
Jersey-
game.
Right.
Listen, you have to kill New Jersey, or else she will kill you. Simple as that.
Whoa.
Did you see
will
her
wake
picture up on the screen?
You wake up with a knife in your chest. In any other scenario, whether you bang her and never see her again, or you think, or you marry her, she's got to go.
Okay.
Jersey's got to
I
go.
didn't think
All
about
right.
that.
Oh,
He's
all right.
I didn't think about that.
But you saw the picture of her,
All
right?
right. So,
Tom,
check it
did
out.
you see the picture of
NYPD?
her? Did you see the picture of the Tom's River girl?
Listen, if it's only a one-time hit, you really want your one-time hit to be Tennessee? No, disgusto. You got the shot of being in the big leagues. You nail out. You bang out that star. You hit the home run, and you bang the NYPD chick, and you forget about her. You move on.
Okay.
So you're
marrying
I see where this is, I
Tennessee
see where
and
this
New
is
Jersey
going.
girls are hot, which means everyone's going to be looking at them.
That's what I'm saying.
Tennessee, she's playing Jane. You know she likes the dick. You're going to constantly get laid, and no one else is really going to look at her. So you got to marry her.
No one else is going to look at her besides the train, though.
No, but dude, you're going to take her away someplace. She's not going to be living in Tennessee. You're done. You're
Tennessee.
You're going to be the only one hitting it. And check it out.
Tennessee.
You can invite friends over when you want to do that. And she's
Game
good
of
with it.
horseshoes.
Dude, it's a home run. That's a home run. That's a no-brainer.
All right. I strongly disagree on marrying Tennessee.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to rhyme.
No.
Tennessee.
Dude,
Yeah, no,
what
Tennessee.
are the options you have? Like Jersey's going to kill you. So who are you going to marry,
Game
Mike?
of horseshoes.
I already said I was going to bang Tom's River, marry the port. No, wait. I was going to marry New Jersey because she's good with like violence and she can kill spiders. I'm going to bang the broad from, I don't know what nationality she is.
She probably is.
Whatever, Boricua from New York, the
Puerto
twerker.
Rican,
Oh, okay. There you go. And then I'm killing Tennessee because I don't like her five head.
Mike Freed from his hospital bed said he's
That's-
marrying New Jersey.
That's all fine and good. But see, New Jersey has already shown the propensity for violence and death. She's going to wake up. There's going to be a spider on your forehead. You're willing to risk that?
Tom,
you know she's going to.
You don't know.
She
You
can
don't
kill
know what
something.
my sexual proclivities are. Maybe I like a little violence in the fucking bedroom. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to know anything about your proclivities.
Well, I heard that you like to be choked and spit on. Is that true?
Ooh, hey,
Only by bearded men.
Oh, okay.
How did
All right,
you
well,
hear
that's
about
fair.
that?
So you have. So you're saying that you have a
AOL
shot.
chat room.
Oh, okay.
He's in an AOL chat room.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, how did you hear about that?
Yeah.
All right, I am now going to go have my homemade lox and bagels that I made myself.
Oh, you're
man.
killing
Must be
me.
nice.
Homemade,
Who
you
doesn't love
cannot
a
beat
good
homemade
lox?
lox.
Can I ask you
I
a
tried
question?
to shit on your FMK series there, but you can't beat on homemade lox. I'm going to go eat it.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
What kind of cream cheese?
Oh, scallion, dude.
Oh, I knew.
That's
Scallion cream cheese
Yes.
lox. Let me ask you this one other question. Do you get involved?
Scallion
Maybe?
cream cheese, homemade lox on a mini plane because they didn't have salt. Otherwise, I put it on salt.
I like it on the
and
salt.
I rub all the salt off.
I like
So
the
you get the
salt.
salty taste without those big chunks of
Yeah,
salt.
or I like it on the everything as well.
Yep, that works.
Oof.
But scallion homemade
Good
lox.
stuff.
I'll tell you what, I'll make something next Saturday. I'll bring homemade lox to the show.
Oh, you're actually going to show up. You're not going to dial it in, huh?
Well,
Okay, great.
I'll send it just in case I can't make it.
Great. Now I can go to Florida.
Why,
Oh, there it is. Well, don't worry.
Let me tell
Don't
you
worry
why,
about
Tom,
it. You aren't
right now,
going
you
home
need
anyway
that
after this episode.
Why, Tom? Does your back hurt again next Saturday?
No, it feels good now, so I think I'm all right.
Okay, good. All right, let's
It's all
cut.
that salmon I'm catching.
Caller,
It's
we
easy,
have a
guys.
guest we have to bring out, so we're gonna have to cut this call short. Appreciate
Bye,
you.
Tommy.
Yeah,
You're
have fun.
great.
Later.
Like,
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
and before you go, Freed, I put it up on a screen. He said he would marry New Jersey. I don't know what bank New York means. I guess he's going to bank.
Well,
New
he's a
York.
Jew, so he's thinking about money all the time.
Can you say that? I'm not even sure.
I did.
No, but there it is. And
George,
yeah,
you're retired. What's
he's
the big
killing
deal?
Tennessee.
No, I just got a lot of Jewish friends.
So do I. That's why I said that.
Okay,
Tom's
all right.
married to a Jew. He don't
Okay.
care. Freed is Jewish. Oh, speaking of Jews, can I give a shout out to Brett Porgal? Our friend Brett.
You
had a-
absolutely have to. Yes,
Our
100%.
Our friend Brett had a minor health issue. Can we say what it is?
Yeah, he
or
had a
is it-
stroke.
Oh,
He had a
okay.
stroke. You're
Yeah,
good.
he had a stroke. And
that's not under like HIPAA laws or whatever, right?
well,
you can say
if the producer says you could say it, then I just agree. I believe what he tells me to do, and then I just say it.
Got it. Okay.
Like he greenlit the word Jew at the beginning of the show. He said, "Say Jew whenever you want."
He probably signed off on something.
Yeah, somewhere. And plus, we have that thing at the beginning that says the views and the blah blah blah. Yeah. See, every time you play that, it means that's like that's the equivalent of saying all due respect.
They represent.
That's the same thing as saying with all due respect, and then you shit all over somebody. That thing is the same. Can you play that one more time?
Sure, I can. Absolutely.
And then I could talk about. Then I could say the Jew word again. I could say Jew again.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
There you go. So Brett the Jew had a stroke, and I messaged him and I'm like, "Hey, bud, how's it? You know, I just want to check in."
Sure.
Right, he's in the hospital, and Mo had alluded that he had some issues with his left side of his arm a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
left arm, left hand.
So I said, anything you need, you got it. Don't worry about it. No problem. And I mean anything. But then I thought about who I was talking to when I said, except the handy. You're not getting that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
so
I
Brett,
actually...
we're thinking about you. All kidding aside, heal up, brother. Love you. You're a good dude, and you'll be fine. I had one of those mini strokes too. It's not a big deal.
He said he's doing a little bit better. He sent me a picture of his board, his medical board, the information board. You know what the nurse is using there?
Yeah.
He already changed his gender to female on there. So he's clearly feeling a lot better.
Whenever I'm in the hospital, which could be quite frequently with the stuff I have going on the whiteboards, I always draw nice things for the nurses, like a nurse, like a cup of coffee.
You just had a stroke recently, right? Like a
no
facial stroke.
No, I had. Oh yeah, I had.
That was AIDS.
That was Burke's palsy.
Burke's palsy.
Yeah, I had COVID.
Right.
And then from the COVID, which they said was happening to people, because another guy in BBO just got it too. I don't know if he had COVID, but he got the palsy as well. And
you recovered pretty quickly, though.
I did a full show with Burke's palsy.
I saw it.
I didn't realize how bad it was till after I watched the show.
Yeah, you had like saliva and stuff.
Yeah, I was dripping like high pitch Eric usually does.
Yeah.
And
Then speaking of high pitch, he's not high pitch anymore, bro.
He's not.
He's low pitch.
He's low pitch now.
I don't know what the heck happened when he got his surgery. Yeah, he called me this morning. It's like, well, besides the voice, we get past that. He calls me this morning at 7:00 this morning. It's like, hey, I'm going to Rochester to see my girlfriend, and I'm passing the Phillipsburg exit. Why he's passing the Phillipsburg
from
exit?
Rochester
To go to Rochester.
Oh, from Canarsie. Somehow he's going past Phillipsburg to go to Rochester. Wouldn't you go to BQE to Queens over to Triborough to the Henry Hudson or something or something?
That's weird.
Highway that way? Why would you come past Phillipsburg?
I'm going to Rochester. You want to get some coffee? I'm passing the Phillipsburg exit. 7:00 in the morning. Mo, I'm like, Eric, I'm in bed, bro. I thought telling you want to get some coffee.
Actually,
you think Dan
he sounds like this now. He's
it's a mix. It's a mix. It's not quite.
Yeah.
He's not the high pitch anymore.
So he's kind of like a juvenile.
Have we been scammed for the last 30
years? Did you say Jew again?
Yeah, juvenile. He's like a juvenile. Like his
Jew.
voice hasn't really dropped completely.
Yes, correct.
Like they haven't dropped.
Yes.
Well, his balls or his penis have not dropped. He has a micro inverted penis. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, I did not know that.
It's about his whole thing is
What
about
kind
like
of family? What kind of show is this, man? What
What
did
show?
you sign up for this?
It's
It's
called. Okay.
I was wondering why you.
Maybe
I was wondering why you tried.
Maybe turn around and look. Maybe it's in the title, Uncensored.
Oh God.
With the real Mike the Cop. Not
Yeah,
the real estate agent.
George. When I heard you were coming on, I was wondering. I'm like,
this is tame. This is not anything. This is nothing.
It's just tame. You just had George sit there and say who he was going to bang, marry, or kill.
You know, I just sent this to the whole church.
George,
I'm in trouble,
do
man.
you have
They're
kids?
going to excommunicate
George,
me.
do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Okay, George has had intercourse, everybody. George has children, so he's actually participated in sexual relations with the opposite sex.
Dude, he just had me commit fornication like 3 times on this show already.
Hypothetically,
it is.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
Then it doesn't count. If you didn't like it, it doesn't count.
Dude, I'm gonna get it excommunicated. I know somehow, some way, somebody's gonna write in
The
from
views
the Vatican
and opinions
somewhere.
expressed in this program.
The Vatican's got bigger fish to fry right now. They're looking for their next pope. They're not worried about you.
Of any entities they represent.
Okay.
All right, so let's
get
do
to the
this.
guest.
Yeah, let's get to the guest now. Okay, so I have this right here now. I installed this. Mo, I don't know if I told you this. I ring this bell and watch this. She'll magically appear. Ready?
Ready.
And all of a sudden,
I actually heard the doorbell.
What is it? Isn't that like
like that, our guest appears. You ring the bell.
One question.
You ring the bell.
Don't they ring a bell for dogs and they start like salivating? What's the name of that thing? Remember?
Pavlov's dog.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a minute.
Is that the same thing that they do?
Let me ask this question. First of all, you shut the fuck up. because you ring a bell to make your wife bring you wine and cheese. All I did was ring a bell and have a guest come out.
All right.
What do you want me to do in the middle of the
asking,
show?
like-
Get up, take the headphones off, and go knock on the door. Say, excuse me, guest, come on out. I'm trying to run a professional show here.
I'm
What are you
just
talking
asking.
about?
Professional show. Have you seen who's running your booth?
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Mike.
So to my left
All right, lock
here-
it up. Oh, we're not playing the game anymore.
No, the game's over.
Oh, the game's over. All right.
Unless
Thank God.
Ashley wants to chime. Wait, doctor, nurse. What do we say? What are we going to agree on? Doctor, nurse, Ashley? You're a nurse.
I'm a nurse.
But you're also a doctor.
I'm a doctor.
Doctor, because I have a friend, Lenny Everhoff, and if you don't say doctor in front of his name, he gets very mad. So how are we gonna call? What are we gonna call you today?
Ashley.
Ashley. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we have Ashley here. She has a podcast called Code Lavender. She's a nurse, but I'm not going to get too far into who she is. We're going to let her tell us about herself. We're going to start with your background, like what, who you are. It's a getting to know you for our home audience.
Getting to know me.
Yes.
So I'm a nurse. I think May is going to be 26 years. Time flies. And I did the nurse thing. I was staff nurse. I mostly worked in OB, the ER. And then one day I decided I would do administration. So, and I went into it like they all do. I was going to fix everything. And I went into Brooklyn. I spent some time there and I started to see the bureaucracy and the bullshit. Am I allowed to say bullshit?
Clearly you weren't watching the show.
Yeah, if you heard the previous skit, yeah, no, you're
you
good.
can say whatever you want.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I tried to still work with it, dealing with a union. That was new for me. And now I'm the enemy. I'm not protected by the union I'm dealing with. So
That happened on ER. I saw that on ER.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The nurse became one of the admin staff, and then she had to deal with all the issues with now you're on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
It's hard, right?
It is.
It's like being a cop and then becoming a sergeant and then going back to the precinct that you worked at.
Oh, yeah.
And now you got to be a boss to the guys and girls that you
The
work
guy
at.
you used to hang out with.
Yeah.
across
How do you
the street
deal
to
with
the
that?
bar and stuff.
Well, it's hard. And, I think the pivotal moment for me was one of my best friends, my kid's godmom. She looked at me and she said, "You are so full of shit. You're telling us to do stuff that you would never do, but now you smile when you say it."
Oof.
And I'm like, ouch. So I went home and I kind of took a step back and I moved on and I kept climbing the ladder and I just started seeing, oh my God, we're all miserable. And then it's palpable. We're treating each other horrible. They're killing the new kids on the block. They come in, they're cruel to them. You've got them failing at every corner there. And I'm just sitting back watching and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And, I'm sitting here saying, no, I'm fine. Meanwhile, my whole life is crumbling. I have 4 kids. I'm getting divorced. My best friend dies. My mom dies. And it's all going on. And I ended up, COVID happened, and I remember when COVID happened, we get called into the boardroom on a Friday. They're like, oh yeah, there's this thing. Maybe not. There might be a case in the city. Everybody go home, get some rest. And Monday we're going to gather and you guys are going to tell us how your divisions can fix this if it comes our way. I happened to be the administrator on call that weekend. And I remember calling the C-suite and saying, they're everywhere. The whole ER is full. I don't know what to do. We don't have anything. So, and the next 12 weeks, just watching, people just robotically deal with it. And my kids are at home by themselves on autopilot. The school district's calling me, telling me how other parents sit in front of Zoom with their kids. And, whatever. So I left.
As if you had a choice that you can,
yeah.
Yeah. You're on the front lines.
And, and meanwhile, my kids are probably not eating anything. I have no idea. Definitely not attending school. I don't care. I'm gone 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm living in my basement because I don't know if I'm going to kill them, if I'm going to whatever. At the time, my boyfriend was a detective in the city. He's sick all the time. Every time I turn around, I think he probably has COVID, so it was just a lot of stress. So then I kind of let that pass. And a couple years ago, I came into Jersey. I took a high-level leadership role here because I just said, I live in Jersey. I'm ready for a break. And different building, same bullshit, probably worse. I don't know. And it just was getting worse and worse and worse. And I just walked away. I said, like, I can't stand for this anymore. I was being asked to do things that were technically illegal, and the staff was just ridiculous. And so I walked away with not even thinking it through, got in my car, and I'm like, shit, I have 4 kids. I have a mortgage. I've got kids in college. What am I going to do? But so I took a good look at my own self, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm burned out. I had lost so much weight. I was sickly. People were asking me if I have cancer. I'm like, no, thank you for asking. I'm good. And I just started, changing the way I am. And I teach at a couple different colleges, and I started really like talking to my students and finding out what they're feeling, what they're seeing. And I decided to do Code Lavender, and just really have a conversation with people. They don't have to be nurses, but just what's going on in your professional life. How are you coping? What are your resources? What are they giving you? And, it's Nurses Week is next week.
Yep.
And it's become literally a perpetual joke. And nurses hate Nurses Week. We make fun of it. What tchotchke are we getting this year? I actually once, when I was a staff nurse, we got overtime sign-up sheets for Nurses Week with stickers on them. So, just looking at that kind of stuff and giving people a community to say what they feel. And, I remember, and I'm sure you guys relate 100%.
There's a parallel between law enforcement and nurses. A lot of the things that you're saying, what you're dealing with in administration, and that is the same as, when you said killing the young, and cops get disgruntled and cynical, and then the new guys come in and they're like, oh, I remember how I got treated. Now it's my turn.
Right.
I went the other way. I would always find a couple of rookies that I thought were smart or were good and would talk to them right away, because I didn't like not being talked to for 3 years.
Yeah, we do the same thing. I never treated anyone the way I didn't want to be treated.
What year did you come on?
92.
Right, so I came on in 87, so it was pretty close to the same kind of thing. Like, nobody would even look at you, talk to you.
Yeah.
You'd go stand in front of the desk, and the lieutenant would be like reading
I got
the
a story
newspaper,
on that. Yeah.
and he wouldn't even look up, and you have
Would
an
not
hour
acknowledge
meal. You have an hour meal, and it's 45 minutes into your meal, and God help you, it's 20 minutes to get to the precinct, 35 minutes standing in front of the desk, and he will not look at you.
Right.
And then you need 25 minutes to get back, and now I'm going to be back late to my post,
Right.
and you can't walk away.
Nope.
Once you get in front of that desk, you got to stay there until he and he sees you, but he's just waiting because they want you to say it's not like that anymore. Now the young ones
it's different. It's totally different.
Complain if they not in the car. I mean, I didn't see it inside of a car until I think maybe
a couple years, right?
Well, besides the training, like the first time I ever got in the car was probably a year and a half on the job, and the guy was had 30 years on.
But wait a minute, didn't you do FTU?
I did FTU. You got in the
field
car.
training.
Field training. You got in the car.
Or NSU, I think it was.
Yeah, NSU for me. And FTU for you probably. Right. NSU for me. You got in the car once in a while, but mostly you were on foot posts.
Right.
So when I got in the car with the old guy, he's smoking a cigar, big giant gut.
Newspaper.
Hey kid, he's like, you see that radio right there? And he's pointing at an AM radio in a K car. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Some explicitive. See that radio right there? I mean, in the radio you talk on. Don't fucking touch it.
Yep.
I'm like, but I'm the. He goes, 3, don't speak unless I ask you a question.
Right.
Do you understand? I said yes. He said good.
Yep.
Drives. This is a day tour. Drives right to a bodega at 8:30 in the morning. Go in and ask the guy for 2
Coffee.
paper bags.
Oh,
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So now it's 2 big tall boys. I come out to the car. He open it, drink it, to see if what you're gonna do. What am I going to do? I've got no time on the job. The guy says, drink the beer. I drink the beer. I drink a little bit of the beer. And then the rest of the tour, we go around, just go to jobs, go to jobs, go to jobs. Never says a word to me the whole time. Doesn't say anything to me. He handles every job, works the radio, does everything. End of tour, we pull back up into the precinct. He gets out of the car. He goes inside. I sat in the car for 15 minutes. I didn't know what to do. Should I get out of the car? Then 4 to 12 comes out, and they're like, hey, kid, what the fuck? What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what do you mean? I go, he said, don't talk to him. I didn't talk to him. He said, don't do anything unless he tells me. He got out of the car. I don't know what to do.
You saw him walking out with his bag.
And he's like, get the fuck out of here. Go change. So, I get there are a lot of parallels between nursing and cops.
Absolutely.
And a lot of dating between nursing and cops. And
there's a lot of things that are
A lot of
Very-
understanding, wacky tours, crazy stories,
And you run into a lot of nurses when you got like a perp that's sick and you take them in.
EDPs.
And then you wind up meeting nurses and you keep seeing each other all the time.
Right.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
So Code Lavender is a podcast that you started. Is lavender the color for nurses? Like blue is cops, red is firemen, green is military, yellow is 9/11 communicating operators, whatever Mo calls them.
I don't think it's really specific to nurses, but it came out as something that I wanted to do. What I noticed was we would have these really traumatic things happen at work, right? I was an ER nurse and even an OB nurse, which is worse, and peds. And so something bad happens and...
Wait, OB is worse than ER?
OB, I don't know. I don't like it.
Okay.
I love whatever. But OB, when something bad happens in that area.
Got it. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah, it's the same thing with us kids. Yeah. Innocence.
And, it was always this like, yeah, okay, can you document that? And you're going to document it while we stand over you so we don't get sued. And nobody ever said, hey, are you okay?
Right.
Like, how do you feel about this? And when I was a nurse for about a year, I was the only nurse on the night shift. I'm showing my age. This woman came in and said she couldn't feel the baby moving. I was working in labor and delivery at the time. Couldn't find a fetal heart rate. I called the doctor, whatever. And I laid over top of a woman's body while we cut her for a C-section with no anesthesia. And I just remember I was so young and nobody asked if I was okay.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't even think I could legally drink a beer yet. And I living in an apartment by myself and I wanted to quit. I would do anything but be a nurse. And of course, that wasn't an option. But for 5 straight days, I sat in administration with all these people over me, dotting every I, crossing every T. When you give your deposition, you're not going to say this, you're going to say that, so forth, so on. So that was very profound for me. But then I watched it my whole career. Nobody ever checked on us. Nobody asked if we were okay. You guys know this stuff.
Another parallel with our job. It's got
right.
a stigma attached to it. Nobody wants to talk about it.
And if you do, and you say, I'm not okay, then they take your guns away and then they put you in a,
what happens
some unit that you have no contact
they
with
encourage you to ask for help, but then when you ask for the help,
what happens
they
to a
punish you
nurse
for it.
if they say I'm burnt out and I need a mental health day or break, or like what do they do? Like what? So with us, they'll take your firearms and put you somewhere, hide you in a corner because they don't want you dealing with the public and they don't want you to have your firearms. What is the, I don't want to say punishment, but what do they do with you? Like you can't not be in the emergency room. Well, what do they do with you?
I mean, there really isn't anything. I mean, we don't have guns, so I guess we're not dangerous.
But you're
but
working,
you have meds,
right?
And you're working with people that come in and you have sharp instruments and making critical decisions, and because we all know the nurses run the hospital.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like the call outs are ridiculous. And as an administrator, and I was on the other end of the fence. I did the bullshit. Everybody's boss has a boss. I had one too, and you're answering to it. So they call out, punish them, write them up, progressive discipline all the way out. And did we do anything? No. We would, tell them to seek help outside, or, hey, we have an employee assistance program.
Right.
You can call the 1-800 number and they'll find you a provider. But there really isn't much. So I had this grand idea. I still wasn't going to give up. And I'm like, we need to have like a response team. When there's a code, when a kid dies, when there's an awful cardiac arrest, when whatever, maybe somebody from medicine comes and a psychiatry person and whoever, and we just sit with the staff and we debrief about it. And we say, hey, first of all, what went well, what didn't go well, how you feeling about it? But that was resources, it was time, it was money, and it was never really, but I wanted to call that Code Lavender.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you guys have PTSD as bad as like the police department? Because a lot of us suffer from PTSD and abuse of alcohol.
So diversion of drugs is what medically we would call it. Nurses are the number one offender. And there's a lot of statistical evidence about that. We have such easy access. Crafty people, drinking, absolutely. PTSD, the same thing. And, it's the kind of the same story. I just was talking the other day to coworkers, and I had a really, really bad code. I worked in an ER in Newark forever.
Oh,
And it
say no
was-
more.
Yeah, my favorite place. I love
Right.
that place to this day. And it was a 1-year-old baby. And the parents were absolutely distraught. It was such a bad day. There were other things going on, but we didn't talk about it. We just went to the bar and we drank all night long.
Sounds like
And,
cops.
You know, we were so desensitized. We were making fun of parts, not of the situation, but just like, oh, and then so-and-so tripped. And then we never talked about it.
Well, that's a diffuser. Cops,
Yeah.
Well,
law
it's like
enforcement
gallows
does that
humor,
too.
That's
right?
the gallows humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, gallows humor.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We
How could you cope with that kind of stuff without some sort of distracting your mind with a laugh?
Yes.
Now, from the outside in, people looking would be like, "Oh my God, that's
they're
horrible, that's gross,"
insensitive,
but
they're horrible.
they're not dealing with what we're dealing with and seeing what we're seeing, and you know.
Right. I remember one of the times that we went to a person that committed suicide, and we dealt with gallows humor to cope with that scene.
Yeah.
And it wasn't making fun of the person. I mean,
Right.
that person obviously had some kind of mental health issue, and they thought that this might be the best way out, and they dealt with it, and then we have to deal with the after effect, and that's how we dealt with it. It was just with humor, and that's what keeps us sane. Otherwise, forget it. You're going to see a lot more suicides and stuff with.
I mean, I've been retired since 2002. Right, I got hurt, so I've been out. I had 15 years on when I got out, and there is still. I mean, you will too, and Mo in the booth there. It could be anything. It could be a smell, a picture,
sound,
a voice, a sound, something that
triggers,
something that's been so far back and so locked away. Like sometimes my wife will talk about a story she's reading, and I'm like, stop, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Right. She's like, why? I go, no, I just don't, because it's already making me think about things. And once those doors open, I can't.
Yeah, it's hard to shut down that door.
You can't,
absolutely.
So that's years later. So imagine in the moment when you're dealing with it, what else do you have other than humor and distraction? Because that's what it is. It's just a distraction from whatever that, might be.
Well, the distraction part of it could be very toxic, depending on what you're doing. If
Well,
you're doing drugs,
I was talking about just the laughter and stuff. Yeah. But
no, I know. But the coping with it might be very toxic.
Yeah.
That distraction.
Yeah, sure.
It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be suicide, or it could be sexual, whatever. So yeah, that's where, I know that we have a lot in common, because you guys deal with the same thing. We bring them into you guys sometimes as well.
Yes, you do.
And you guys got to also deal with what we dealt with on the street.
Right.
Sometimes the violence, and then you guys also have to tie them down so you guys don't get hurt.
Right.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit about what you were saying about how dealing with it, and what does the job do to, besides saying here, it's all outside resources, right?
Yeah, and it's smoke screens, right? And
it's more of a CYA,
which is why you want to do the Code Lavender, which is no different than a school shooting when they bring in psychiatrists and stuff, and they want to, they got to figure it out for the kids. But what about the adults?
What this is that it's CYA, basically.
Yeah, of course it is. It always is.
And the staff would complain about stuff. They would ask questions. And I had this, program that I worked, because that's what it was. And as I was saying, and I'm like, oh my God, this is utter bullshit. But I would say to them, oh no, we do this, we do that, we do this, we do that. And I'm sitting there going, this is bullshit. We don't do anything to truly help people. And I think the other piece of it is with the coping, and we talk about this a lot, is there were times where you would work a shift and maybe you were just overwhelmed. Nothing awful had to happen, but you couldn't get to your car fast enough so you could cry. Mm-hmm. And men in the profession tell me this, and then you can't talk about it at home because, and my ex-husband, fire captain, whatever, but he didn't want to hear it. He knows the job. Boyfriend who was a detective, I remember he would be like, can we not talk about this stuff at home? He's like,
well, that was the thing, right?
It
was always said, leave it when you close the locker room door.
Yeah.
Leave it in the locker room, but it's just not that easy. Sometimes you gotta, that's part of the problem too, is not talking about it. But you got to find the person who you can, because if you're a guy, not to be sexist, but if you're a guy and your wife doesn't know anything about, you don't want to. I don't want to go home and tell my wife that I saw a 3-year-old kid after the mother threw her out the window, or I saw a lady who fell off the curb and a bus ran her over. You know, I want to go
Right.
home and tell her those things. And so she would say, well, how was your day? Not my current wife, my first wife. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say, oh, those things, because I don't want to bring that. You want to keep that inside, and maybe not keep it inside, but not share it, because why do you want to have someone else feel that way? You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem too.
Well, and sometimes, like, I find if they're not in it, they don't relate. Like my current relationship, he has nothing to do with this stuff. And I would, like, in my work now, I work a lot with, you know, youth in the city that have a lot of challenges. And I would say something and he'd be like, oh my God, like I don't want to hear about that.
Right.
And for me, it's just shop talk. It's every day.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
normal.
sure.
And then he's like, whoa, like, no, you know, like, let's not talk
Right,
about
because when we
this.
talk
And-
about stuff, we're talking about like that, like the baby or the woman or whatever,
Yeah.
as if we're talking about, hey, Judge hit 3 home runs today. Did you watch the
Right.
Yankee game?
Right.
It's so normal for us to talk that way, which is another sign of how desensitized we get to things because we see so much of it, you know? So that you started to talk about what you're doing now, which is you're working with, tell us about that. You're working with...
So I walked away from administration and I'm like, I have to get a job. I'm teaching, and that's great for a side gig. And I think another similarity, we all have a side gig, right?
Right, yeah.
And I stumbled into this work. I had done a lot of research and writing in Black maternal health, so DEI sector. And I now work, I am a administrator for a SNP Medicaid plan in the city. And my focus is looking at youth in the city who are either transgender, homeless, or HIV positive.
So all marginalized people
All marginalized
who not are getting
populations.
what the...
Yeah.
Which is very important, because whether you agree with, we don't need to get into debates on who agrees with what, but
Right.
it's indisputable that homeless, people with AIDS, transgender, are not getting the help that they need as easily as somebody that doesn't fall into at least those categories, and maybe a few others as well. So it's much needed. Wherever you stand on that, no one should go without. That's almost like what we were just talking about. We don't talk to people. We don't imagine that in youth that are dealing with much heavier shit than, oh, I saw this today. What am I going to do? They're living it. You know what I mean? Whether it's in their minds and they got stuff going on, or physically with AIDS, or not having a home. That's got to be tough too. It's like, again, because you want to, I think you have like a broken wing syndrome like I do, where you want to just help everybody, right? So what do you, I mean, you can only do so much, right?
Right. And I think, like, and I, as you guys know, what we see with these kids, and I think everywhere, is they end up on drugs. They end up in trouble. They end up hanging out with you more than they're hanging out with me. And it's just like, what do you do for these kids? And I also cover adults who end up pregnant under the same circumstances. So then now I'm worried about somebody who's pregnant and then the baby that's coming down the pipe. And, how are we going to support this? They don't have housing, they're on the street.
So not pregnant adolescent, pregnant adults.
Both
Okay,
of the above.
okay.
So,
With homeless or AIDS or
transgender population, which is obviously a whole new arena. And for me, and again, we don't have to get into it, I think what was profound for me is I have 4 kids, and I started in the ER when I would work on the ped side every once in a while. I would have like 8-year-olds come in suicidal with a full detailed plan and this despair. And I'm like, you are 8 years old. How are you this depressed? And to a point where you can even imagine all these things that you could do about it and how you could deal with yourself. And it really started becoming, and there's the people saying, oh, it's attention-seeking behavior. It's this, it's that. And I'm like, no, I actually saw this. Like this.
There's a lot
real.
of other ways to get attention than to for that,
And so, the school shootings, the things like that.
Right.
And like, it's kind of like, what is going on? And my own kids, like my son, my oldest son, he missed his whole freshman year of high school because of COVID. And I kind of was like, whatever, get over it. Like, people are dying every 5 seconds where I'm at. And, and I was truly, completely desensitized to it, but it was profound for him.
Of course.
It ruined his football. It did all these things, and he had a really, really tough time kind of dealing with it in the aftermath. He's in college now. I think he's better, but when we work with kids kind of in that little thing, they're struggling. And
but those kids suffered from PTSD as well.
I agree.
Because my son was, he had to do homeschooling.
Yeah.
And me and his mom had to go to work. He was home alone. And it was terrible for us. And I could only imagine. And then it's still, he still talks about it like once in a while. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, that was a rough time, and it still affect them. It's going to affect them forever because they miss out on, like you said, your son missed out on football, whatever. Same thing with my son. It's that generation is going to have that carry that for the rest of their lives. Hopefully, we won't have that kind of thing going on again. That kind of COVID type thing coming up.
And if we do, maybe we'll deal with it a little bit better this time.
Yeah. So I feel sorry for those kids.
I do too. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like a real ass bag because my kids literally had nobody, no adult. Again, I don't even know if they ate food. They didn't die. I guess they ate something, but it's just, we were completely removed from them and absent. They had no support. And I know the unit that I ran was open for 12 straight weeks. So for 12 weeks, which you think about that's months, my kids were just alone. And, the four of them together. And I know my oldest son too, because my other three are younger. He deals with the fact that he had to kind of be an adult when he shouldn't.
How old was he when this was going on?
He was a freshman.
Okay, so they're 14-ish, 15.
And I had just went through a 4-year crap divorce that super affected my kids. So it was just like, what more could possibly, and meanwhile, I'm not really okay. There's a lot going on for me and just holding it together. So that's what with Code Lavender, I still have friends that are still doing the work. They're bedside nurses. They're still in the ER because they love it. And like yesterday, one of them was texting me like, this is bullshit. She's like, morning huddle was just about how great the leadership team gets along with each other. And I just wrote back, hey, at least somebody around there is happy with themselves. And, and she always kind of has kept me grounded as a leader because she would say to me, you're never going to believe what they're doing now. And I'd be like, oh shit, I do that too.
It's like a big giant circle jerk. Like whenever they catch like a killer or something. And then all of the chiefs and all the politicians, they all line up and everybody.
You see him in the background.
Everybody pats everybody in the back. I'd like to introduce Chief so-and-so who made one phone call to bring in the FBI. And then it's like, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant so-and-so. He had the great idea to put on lights when it got dark at night. Like everybody's like telling everybody.
They all need their 2 minutes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But nothing about the cops who actually did the work.
Right.
Investigative
work or going out there.
Yeah, so that's always so many parallels between the two. So all right, so Code Lavender then. How long ago did you start that?
Like a couple months ago.
Okay.
I actually was approached by a guy that had me on his show a couple of times to really talk about real statistical research I had done. And he was getting together a podcast and he wanted me to co-anchor it with somebody else. But when he started talking to me about what he wanted, I said, oh, I don't think so. Like, that's not me. He really wanted to politicize nursing. And I said, like, for me, nursing isn't political. It never has been. It's not going to start to be.
It should never be.
You don't want me being your expert because I'm not one. And that, I said, I will screw it up. I'll say something. I'll piss the people off. And then it'll just.
Well, clearly, if you were watching inside, we're not having any problems with pissing people off. This is, listen, we try to keep everything here as real as possible.
Right.
It's just people talking. We're just all talking, saying how we feel. Doesn't mean that's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's conversation, which this world is lacking.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do
well,
not
yeah, it's a joke. It's funny. That is funny, but it's true. Nobody talks to each other anymore.
No, they don't.
No one doesn't do. How do you figure out things and learn
if you don't
and understand if you don't communicate?
But
you know what I mean?
My question is, what's the mission statement of Code Lavender?
I think really just a community where we can all talk about it. And
so communication
and really realizing like, yeah, it's the same for all of us. Like, you're not alone. You're crying in your shower. So am I, and then my dream would really be to get involved with organizations so they can give their staff resources. You know, what are you going to do when somebody's, you know, has a really bad day at work? What do you do for them? Because I'm here to tell you we do nothing.
Right.
I can't come up with something we do. I don't, you don't get to stop working. You guys know that. You take 5 minutes in the break room and then you get another.
But that's not going to come from, that's never going to come from, no offense.
Yeah.
But you did both sides of it. But that's never going to come, I don't think, from the admin side of it. That's something that the union probably has to do and get behind, because I'm law enforcement 1987, so 30 years, right?
Over.
What?
Over.
40 years in 2000.
Yeah, it's going to be 40 years in a couple of years.
So retired in 2002, but it's real. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better as far as the stigma attached to mental illness and mental health, but there's still always that underlying, you know, someone comes to you and says something's wrong or whatever. And even myself, I'm debating. You have that mental conflict, right? Like, am I going to...
Isn't that the high-pitch Eric term?
Yes.
Mental conflict.
High-pitch Eric has a lot of mental conflict. Do I call the guy's or girl's job? Is it that serious? Or do I say, hey, I'm coming to your fucking house and you're giving me your firearms? You know, like if they're a correction officer, they don't need them at work. And if you take them from them, they're not going to know if they don't have them. And you hold on to them for them. A cop, a little bit different, right? If they're on the street or whatever the job might be. How do you do that? Like even somebody like me who understands it, because I've been through it myself and try to help, you just never really know, you know, and the unions are the only way the union has to fight for, I mean, anything that you ever get is going to be, it's again, bullshit, contracts, negotiations, like, okay, we'll give you this if you give us back that. So even then it's not even really about the mental well-being, and especially in those professions, nursing, fire, police, corrections, those are the places where you think they'd have that built in the most, because in the end, it costs the admin side of it a lot more money, and that's what it's all about, right? Money and not getting sued and stuff. More money to take care of people when they're sick, when they're not coming to work, or they're not here anymore by their own means or some other way. That's all financial cost to the admin side of it. So the unions should be the ones that are fighting for that. And nurses unions are pretty strong, I think, right?
They are. And, you know, I remember the last union contract, I was still in the Bronx working, and all it was money. They were just looking for wages. And
that's $11.99, right?
It was actually NYSNA, which is New York State Nurses Association. It's one or the other. I think they do the best they can, but nobody worries about it. That's the problem, is even the union is not saying, whoa, help these people.
So, big question.
Relief. It's
my question to you is, and this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Code Lavender. What's Code Lavender going to do to fill in that gap, while maybe in the future unions will get involved and get that help to the nurses?
So I think
or that resource.
Again, like getting the conversation started, looking to partner with just who can we help? Who can we get out there and help? What organizations can we talk to? I myself had to recognize, like, I am burned out and I'm at the point of chronic stress. And now, like, I'm sickly. I am not okay. And so really just self-care. So, you know, and I always tell people, nobody's coming to save you. I promise you.
So would your healthcare cover something like that? Can you get that from your healthcare? Because you guys have really excellent healthcare, don't you? Can you? No, you don't.
No, we used to.
Okay.
Same as you guys. We used to. And then now we have shit plans with high deductibles. You can't find any providers that are covered on your plan. You know, it's the same old thing. Is
there a federal program or a grant that you guys your organization can get to kind of cover the cost of having like a mental health professional, you know, help out and maybe be on a part-time basis or that type of stuff?
I'm actually looking at that right now. I've done a lot of grant writing in the past for different things, but yeah, I want to find stuff like how can we help provide these services, you know, to nurses who need, or healthcare providers or whoever.
So if somebody's watching right now at the podcast, and maybe somebody that's watching this program later, who do they contact if they want to fill in that gap?
So I think contact me. You know, I'm on social media.
What's your social media?
I'm Ashley Dalia1122 on Instagram, on Facebook. I have a TikTok that's more for my kids. But every once in a while, you'll see me put something on TikTok. And I have a website that's almost finished. It's being built and it's going to go live, I hope, next week. So just really.
We put a couple YouTube links up in the comments, Dawn did.
So how about this? This is not just off the cuff, right? So we have this studio here.
Yes.
We have a pretty good setup, even though, we didn't start out great on this first show, the show today a little bit, but we just build that.
You see who's running the booth, right?
Yeah, we build
you
that
understand?
yeah.
Okay.
We have a Mach 1 Indianapolis 500 car.
Right.
And we got Benny Hill over here driving the vehicle. So I know you're doing it on your phone, right? You're doing, you have a little. So why don't we do this? So we have the podcast studio. We have this Blue Podcast Network. Continue to do what you're doing, like with your that. But I will offer you this space.
Yeah.
Let's say once a month you come in here, and unlike the other guy, whoever that was, not that I don't care, but
Don't bad talk him.
no, I don't know. I'm saying I don't care. It's not that I don't care.
I thought
I'm
Mike
saying,
was going to lay down the hammock.
I'm saying we have producer, we have engineer, we have architect, we have the space. You come in here with your people. You pick. You want to do an hour show, an hour and a half show. Usually we're here on Saturdays. We book out a month in advance. You pick one Saturday, a time slot, an hour and a half, an hour, whatever. I don't know how long you could talk for or what you talk for on a show. So if you want to do that, besides what you're doing with, however you're filming it before, if you want to come here and utilize the studio, because that's how you're going to get the stuff that you need. Microphone, word of mouth, talking, people talking. All it takes is one person at home watching this that says, wow, I like what she's doing.
Sure.
Do you have an organization? Is it a not-for-profit yet? Do you plan on doing that? If you are, I'd like to get involved, because that's how a lot of the times we get stuff happening.
Right.
Someone sees, someone hears, and they I like what they're doing. Let me see if I can help them in some way. You know what I mean? So I will offer that to you. You don't have to answer me now, no pressure. But the space is here. If you want to put on a show, once a month out of here, continue doing what you're doing on, for yourself. But this is a way, because we already have a built-in audience. You know what I mean?
Right.
You might, and then the audience that you bring will be a little bit different for us too, a different demographic. That would be good for us too. You know what I mean? To come to the network and see other shows that are there too. And there's a lot of parallels, like you said, between nursing and policing. So I think that would be maybe a good idea. But let me know off the air.
Sounds good.
All right. Do you want to say anything else? You have any other? You want to do all your socials one more time, and then we'll put them up, and then we're going to go to break.
Yeah, so it's Ashley Dalia1122 on Instagram.
Spell Dalia. Sorry.
Delia. There's an apostrophe, but I just dropped that.
Okay, so common spelling. Spelling.
On Instagram and Facebook, and probably the same on TikTok. I haven't looked at TikTok for a while. And then
you're not dancing on there or anything, are you?
No. Every once in a while with my daughter or my son's girlfriend, we'll break it out.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. My children make videos of me when I'm not aware of it and post them on things.
So I've had that done to me a couple
you don't know
times.
what you're gonna find out there. But
they'll call me and tell me, Mike, my stepdaughter, Mike, so I was at the mechanic and I got that special air in my tires that they told me about. It was only $10 a tire. I'm like, Sydney, you what? Or like my daughter did a thing to me one time where it's like, you have a collect call from Rikers Island Correctional Facility and then it's her name, Alexa, will you accept the call? And now my blood pressure, I'm like, oh my God, what happened, right? And I'm like, she got like 3 sentences into it and cracked and started to laugh. And I'm like, son of a bitch. But I can't complain because the shit I did. You know what I mean? Like they learned from me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's funny. That's good. All right, so you have the Instagram, you have TikTok.
Yeah.
The website. What's the website? It's not up yet, but what is it?
Be the CodeLavenderPodcast.com.
Oh, CodeLavenderPodcast.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Like we have
Dawn's got the
Network.
Facebook link up in the comments too.
So we'll put in the comments will be all the links. This is running live on at least 3 of our Facebook platforms, as well as YouTube. It's running live as well. And eventually Spotify and all those other places will be on there. But for now, we're just concentrating on building up the YouTube.
Right
because
now,
you
we're
have
just
the-
concentrating on getting the stream started without having it echoing.
Well,
back and forth.
that too. But I mean, I get what I pay for, right?
Oh, there you go. Now you're learning.
All it cost me today was a buffalo chicken salad.
Now you're learning.
From Gara's Pizza in lovely Uptown Phillipsburg.
Midtown Phillipsburg.
All right, let's go to break. Are we going to break, or are we going to do the Mo's moment before or after the break?
Yeah, no, we'll do the Mo's moment now.
Okay.
And then we'll go to break then, and then on the other side of break, I
got my stuff to do.
We freestyle.
Yeah. Okay.
We just take a moment here. While every show on this network has its own format, there is one constant. These are shows done by cops for cops. As such, we can speak about things relating to law enforcement while drawing from personal experiences. Today, I want to focus on the verbal abuse that we are forced to endure and the very strict limits that are put on us as to how we can respond. As a rule of thumb, we aren't allowed to respond. We're told things like, cops aren't allowed to be offended. We are simply there to absorb the insults while the offenders hide behind our shield. That's right, you heard me correctly. The loudmouths act the way they act and say the things they say because they can hide behind my shield and the fact that they know I have restrictions and they don't. If my shield wasn't there, they'd likely be as quiet as church mice. We are put in this position under the premise that we are public servants, that we work for them. And we are taught to understand that our job done correctly will often result in someone being pissed off, and the outbursts are merely a release of anger that comes with it, nothing more. Agree or disagree, I'll save that for another day. But pretending that I agree and following that same logic, shouldn't the same apply to our elected officials? No matter where you turn these days and no matter which party you're following, the ease with which our elected officials, elected to literally speak for us, offensively curse at us and each other like they're sitting on a bar stool or a stoop has become an epidemic and a huge turnoff. A few weeks ago, Florida Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost and others left for El Salvador, quite possibly in violation of the Logan Act, to advocate for the lawfully deported illegal immigrant and MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This, the same congressman who in 2016 tweeted, "Fucking with my gang gonna get you spilled." California congressman and Chinese spy bedmate Eric Swalwell lisps curses during essentially every video or appearance he makes. When confronted in an Ulta while simply shopping, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace released a tirade of fuck yous and not quietly to a man wearing Daisy Dukes while advocating for the LGBTQ community. Clearly a man no one should ever take seriously regardless of what the topic of conversation is. And there's Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, whose public speaking has become so ghettoed down that you would swear she's auditioning for a reality show rather than advocating for her district. And last of all, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar responded to a politely asked and reasonable question posed by a media member regarding Democrats traveling to El Salvador by simply saying not once, but twice, "I think you should fuck off." Later doubling down on her social media by posting, "I said what I said." This, the same Ilhan Omar, who would have been 11 years old and living in Somalia while watching her elders drag the murdered bodies of U.S. soldiers down their dirt roads and celebrate like they just won a third world Super Bowl. And now, who has a say in running this government that she was raised to detest. The examples go on and can be found on both sides of the aisle and as high up the ladder as the White House. When and where did the people elected to run this country and speak for its citizens determine that it was okay to speak to us like that without repercussions? More importantly, why do we as a society accept and normalize it? I hate when people dismiss the difficulties of being a police officer by saying they signed up for it, as though our willingness to do the job somehow relieves those we serve of any sense of gratitude. However, maybe sometimes there is a measure of truth to it. Certain occupational hazards come with any chosen profession, and those must be handled professionally. If someone whose power exists only because we give it to them feels like telling us to fuck off simply because we're questioning something that they are allegedly doing on our behalf, perhaps, just perhaps, it's time for them to fuck off. Fuck all the way off. But what do I know?
Line of Duty Cigars proudly donates cigars to our servicemen and women stationed abroad. Check out all their cigars and products at www.lineofdutycigars.com.
Mama Shug's freeze-dried candy. Find them on the web at mamashugsfreezedriedcandy.com. What is freeze-dried candy? Glad you asked. Freeze-dried candy, as the name suggests, undergoes a process where it's frozen and all moisture is removed, leaving behind pure sugar crystals. This technique intensifies the flavor and transforms previously gummy or chewy treats into light, airy, and crunchy delights. Whatever you do, don't sleep on the Charleston Chew. It is delicious.
The Sun Tavern of Roselle Park, New Jersey, where the Blue Line goes to dine. Come in for our delicious pizza, cold beer, awesome mixed drinks, and Mike the Cop's favorite, the hanging pretzel.
Dubs on 5th, 402 5th Street, West Easton, PA. Family-friendly pub offering American eats and casual digs. Sporting kids games and high-definition TVs for all your sporting needs. Happy hour specials, clam and wing night deals, and live music are also on the menu. Dubs on 5th, 402 5th Street, West Easton, PA.
(911) Specialties. Special gifts for special professions. We are the originators of the QR Family Member Gold Card. We also custom manufacture police specialty items such as blue line flags with your name, coffee mugs, plaques, window shields, shield holders, cigar carriers, and hip flasks. Check out our website at 911specialties.store or come and visit us in person at 188 High Street, Nutley, New Jersey.
Fetty Ford, 1137 U.S. Route 46, Clifton, New Jersey. 973-779-7000. Check them out on the web at fettyfordsales.com.
Visit www.proudpig.blue. Dirty by design. Because if you're not patrolling with the pig, you're doing it wrong. Check out all of our new swine swag, and as always, thank you for your pig patronage.
Gara's Pizza, 200 Strikers Road, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. 908-454-9272. Home of the famous Upside Down Sicilian. Rated 8.7 by Mike the Cop. One bite, it's the law. Head down to Gara's, grab a slice, and let us know what you think. Tell them the Blue Podcast Network sent you.
Bitch. bitch.
Police.
Bitch.
Police.
Bitch.
Police.
Bitch. bitch.
Are we ready?
Are we back?
Are we ready?
I like a more seamless transition. Mo, you're really not earning your salary today at all.
You got.
Hey, you know what I forgot to talk about?
Wait till I unionize.
You know what I forgot to talk about? How does it? Can you see the E-guard? A-guard? How do you say it?
Yeah, A-guard.
A-guard. Can you see the beautiful watch?
I can see the beautiful watch.
You know what watch number this is?
What watch number is that?
47.
Oh boy.
You know where that's going?
I will build a great wall.
That's where it's
on our
going.
southern border, and I will have Mexico pay for that wall.
I know Trump is
Mark my
busy.
words.
President Trump is busy right now. But if anybody that's watching this knows him, maybe next time he's in Bedminster, you give me a call. I drive up there. We drop this off to him, classy and nice. I don't want to have to try to hop the fence.
That's a nice watch.
It is a nice watch, isn't it?
Yeah, I felt it. It has good weight to it. Feels like a really quality piece.
Yeah, so the deal that we have with Edgard Watches is that we produced 500 of the men's and 200 of the women's watches. I think we just ran a commercial for it as well. Super duper law enforcement backer he is. $80 per watch, which that's a high amount of money, was coming to us I shouldn't say us, was coming to the charity Brothers Before Others to help with the Flower Fund. And we decided to spread the wealth around a little bit. That's a lot of money, right? So we split it 50-50 with the National Law Enforcement Officer Museum.
Sweet.
So every watch, 40 goes to the museum and 40 goes to the Flower Fund.
I want one.
Times 500 watches and 200 women's watches. So
those are cool.
Yeah.
I definitely want one.
Yeah. So
I don't wear. I used to wear the Apple Watch.
Right.
It's too many electronic. I want a real watch. Like I want a watch.
Well, this isn't that watch. This is a
No, I know, but
Invicta.
I mean.
But this was the idea from this watch was this kind of watch. Like you had this on. It's very heavy.
Yeah.
What's the centimeter, Josh? What's the front of it?
Bro, first of all, you're saying my name. Second of all, now you're asking me specifics about it.
It's a heavy.
You might have wanted to preload me on that. Hey, Mo,
heavy,
have those details
larger
available.
Size.
Let's say it's a 44.
It's a man's watch.
Yeah, exactly. It's 44 millimeter.
Right. Yeah, that sounds good. Divided by 2, add 1. But there's also a ladies' version of it, which is a little more
petite.
Dainty.
Okay.
Petite. Yeah.
I like it. I want one. I definitely want one.
So yeah, and then also I'd like to talk about.
That's like for anybody that's home that wants to listen to that. What do they call that when they do the sound?
slurp.
No. When they do the
ASMR.
Yeah, ASMR.
What's that? Is that the villain in Bugs Bunny, the red one that fights him? Oh no, that's Gossamer. That's Gossamer. Okay, so the sweet and swiny Pride Pig variant. We were talking about COVID before. We partnered up with 3 Chord Bourbon, which is owned by Neil Gerardo and Pat Benatar.
A-guard watch, case size, 45 millimeter.
See, I was close.
What'd you say?
Strap
44?
with 22
Right, and
millimeter.
I said -1.
No, you said
divided by 2 minus 1. Yeah, that's Common Core math. You should know that.
Oh, you're welcome for me getting.
Well, thank you. So we did 2 versions, and the second version we did when COVID came out, and it's called Sweet and Swiny Proud Pig Variant, because it's a little bit of a difference than the first one that we did, which was all honey. This is 30% honey and then the hybrid. Anyway, this was my last bottle from the barrel. I put it up for auction last week during our segment called Charity Chat. Yes, you can. During our segment called Charity Chat, we had the Bikers Against Cop Killers Stateliner chapter on. I put this up for auction. Somebody named Wayne Young bid $200. He was the high bidder 2 weeks ago. We let it run for the 2 weeks. Nobody outbid Wayne Young. Somebody bid like $10,000. Obviously, that was BS. They didn't send us $10,000. But so 200.
I actually think that was Bill.
Bill Wright?
Yeah, I think Bill.
Mayor of Wienertown?
Mayor of Wienertown. We should hold him to
it
that.
It reminds me of Opacon, the mayor of.
Right, correct.
So this bottle will go to Wayne Young, and $200 will be going to the Bikers Against Cop Killers Stateliner chapter. Thank you, Wayne Young, for that generous donation.
That's
The
115
Bikers
proof.
Against Cop Killers.
That stuff is 115 proof.
Yeah, so this is 115 proof, and that's proof down. So when it went in the barrel, it was probably 125, 130. It comes out 115. We taste tested this 2 weeks ago, and it has a little bit of I don't want to say a burn, but for 115 proof, you think it would set your throat on fire? Nice, beautiful. This is a good. I wish we had one bottle left of the original honey. They took honey. They took old beehive. The what do you call those things?
The hooves.
It's a sin.
It's a sin. I gotta cut it off.
And they took the bee things and they put them inside the barrel, and then they put the.
It's the beehive.
But it's not really a beehive. It's the thing that the
boxes the
boxes. They use the wood for that inside the barrel.
Okay.
Put the bourbon, the mash, and the bourbon inside the barrel, and let the bourbon. You really can't see it as much here, but the other one you could see particles of honey floating in the bourbon. So it wasn't like infused. It wasn't like bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you think of like Jack Daniels, the Jack Daniels honey, and like that sweet, like the artificial sweetness taste, erase that from your mind. This was glorious.
This was honey.
This was
honey.
glorious.
So good. Yeah,
I don't drink, but I would.
Medicinal, because honey
try it.
cures a lot of things.
Sure.
So medicinal.
So
and then really, we might have invented the hot honey because it got a little bit of burn when it went down, but it was honey. So we might have actually invented the hot honey before hot honey was a thing.
I like it.
But I didn't trademark it. I should have.
Should have. Yeah, absolutely should have.
You still can.
George doesn't drink, but he was doing.
Yeah, but I could invest.
He was doing
into
Bang,
it.
Marry, Kill 5 minutes ago.
Dr. Ashley is still. Ashley is just Ashley. Just Ashley.
Ashley.
So that's good. Just Ashley's still here because I wanted to make sure you don't have to have our ugly mugs on the mic, on the camera all the time. Go on her once in a while. So we're gonna cut out. We're not gonna do. This week we had a segment where we were gonna do our Dick Whiskey, Trooper Dick Whiskey. We're gonna cut that out because we're running a little long. But what I'd like to do is play a video from the unknown detective who's also Unhinged, the Unhinged detective now. He hasn't been here for quite some time, but he did send this video in to us.
Yeah, for real. Where is that?
I don't know where the
That's
hell
cool.
he is.
Yeah. I haven't
But
seen
let's
it in
play
a
his
while.
video.
Sure.
Let's play
Let's
this
check it
video.
out.
Roger that.
I want to see it.
Unhinged/unknown detectives video.
You know, you want to know something that's been burning my ass more than gas station chili? People who don't put their friggin' carts back. It's not that hard. It's not calculus. You're not being asked to donate a kidney or solve world hunger. You're being asked to walk your lazy, inconsiderate ass 15 feet to the damn cart corral. Put the cart back. But no, that's apparently too much to ask for some of you. You just leave it there, stranded in the middle of the parking lot like a sad, forgotten ex, blocking spaces, rolling into cars, or worse, left cockeyed on a damn curb like it tried to escape from you. Well, who the hell raised you? Mutants? You think some magical grocery cart fairy just flutters around down from the clouds to clean up after your trash decisions? No, it's some underpaid, overworked employee out there in 100-degree heat or sideways rain, dragging your thoughtless abandonment like a damn scavenger hunt from hell. And if you're one of those people who say, well, it's job security for the workers, just know that deep in your soul, you're wrong. Wrong. So stop trying to dress it up like it's charity, because it's not. So next time you're tempted to just ditch the cart like a one-night stand with no number, don't. Walk your smug little self over to that corral, slide it in, and hear that satisfying click as it lines up with the others. And bask in the knowledge that for that one fleeting moment, you weren't a douchebag. Not a douchebag. Unknown out.
I'm sitting here like talking about how Unhinged, the unknown, Unhinged, unknown, Unhinged, Uma, Oprah, Uma. I don't know if anybody's going to get that joke right there. But that was David Letterman when he hosted the Oscars. Uma, Oprah, Uma.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I do.
Not clearly.
So I'm talking about the Unhinged, right? He sends the video in, and then all of a sudden, who walks through the door, Mo? Guess who's here? Unknown.
What's going on?
Unknown is back.
Oh, boy.
What's going on?
How are you, Unknown?
I've had better days.
You're back from your hiatus?
A little bit, here and there.
What's been going on with you? I haven't seen you in about
a fortnight.
Shit. Yeah, a fortnight. A video game. What's a fortnight?
Fortnight.
It's a video.
A little length of time.
Kids
A
game.
length of time, but how long is a fortnight? One
Oh,
night?
About as long as 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. So I haven't seen you in 7 weeks ago. How you been doing? How's everything going?
Angry.
You're angry.
Yeah.
You're unhinged.
I couldn't tell by that video. I couldn't tell you.
So that would be my number one. You know what? Let's go to Ashley first. She's still here. Yeah. What is your number one pet peeve? Can't be the shopping carts. It can't be that. He already said that. That is my number one. So I got to think of my number two now.
Oh, people who don't use other people's names. Like if you're going to have a conversation with me, learn my name. It drives me crazy. So
what do they call you if they're not calling you by your name? Hey, you?
Yeah, or just like you're not significant enough. You can need me for a lot of things. You can come to me, but you don't know my name.
Oh,
Okay.
I'd be in trouble for that because I mean that is the whole genesis of Mo. Or I would call everybody Steve because it just makes it easier. Everybody's Steve, but you call people Mo because you can never mess up their name because then they can't feel a way about it because I'm saying, "Hey, what's up, Mo? How are you?"
Yeah, but we've been doing Mo.
Everybody.
We've been doing Mo for so long that we could have 15 people in a room, and I could say Mo, and
Everybody's
I'm talking about
Mo.
one person, and that person knows it's that Mo. I say it a slightly different way. It's like 25 different versions of a dialect of a certain language. What's your pet peeve?
You know, the shopping cart one is pretty good.
That's my number one. I go bananas about that.
Yeah, because you know, like he was saying, the Unhinged detective, he was saying it'll hit your car. I got a new car.
Yeah, he said that. I'm
I
asking
know,
you
but I'm
what
just
yours
saying
is.
that
We already got
really
what his is. We
upsets
want to know
me.
what yours is now.
I think the other one is like not keeping like condiments or something, like the top screwed on properly. Like if you catch a bottle or something like that and you're trying to pour it, and now you got ketchup all over whatever you're trying to pour, just a little bit. You don't
That's
know.
your number one pet peeve?
No, that was not my number
What
one.
is
Was
this, it's like the 1950s with the
You
salt shaker.
can't ask him and then judge him.
I
bro.
feel like
That's
I'm watching an episode of Happy Days where fucking Potsy goes to put salt on his fucking French fries.
How about
All
a
the
pet
salt
peeve for
comes out.
people who judge people for their pet peeves?
Okay, that's good. That's a good one. You ready
No,
to
I mean,
take yours?
but listen.
Shut the fuck up about it.
That was last week's pet
Mike,
peeve.
listen. I used to do this as a kid. It's terrible. I used to like, with the lids, like just unscrew them.
Well,
at
that's the
pizza shops,
beginning of a
and
sociopath. That and hanging cats.
At pizza
That's one of
shops,
those two things.
and then somebody would go there to put garlic, whatever.
If you
the whole
kill
thing.
small animals or you take the tops off of condiments, that's a sign of being a fucking serial killer.
Then I guess
Do you
I
have a
am.
middle? Do you go by a middle name?
No.
Okay, so you can't be. Do you know there's an actual gene? You're a nurse. You might know about this. My wife told me about this. When they do all the dissection of the brains and do all this stuff, that like 95% of the serial killers have some sort of deviant or some sort of different thing in their brain than others do.
I didn't know about the sociopaths. Yes.
Yes, sociopaths
Yes.
have it. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's something in the brain that's totally different.
So
than all
what's
the-
different in your brain, Mike?
Oh, I don't even barely. It's my brain is.
It rattles a lot.
It rattles a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
So my pet peeve, obviously, number one is shopping cart. Number two for me is if I hold the door open for you.
Oh,
okay,
that's a good one.
You don't have to do giddy up, but maybe pick up the pace a little bit
And say thank you.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a given. But if don't walk like a friggin' sloth. If I'm holding the door with you, maybe just take a little extra in your step. Or number three would be, because number one, I get a shopping cart. Number three is if I let you in traffic, give me something. Give me this, hand out the window, a nod, a look, something. But don't not acknowledge and I'm not doing it for the acknowledgement, but how about being civil
courteous
in society?
Yeah. Got it.
Mo, what's yours?
People that come to a complete stop in easy pass lanes. That drives me bonkers. They need to lose their license.
Or shot, one or the other.
Well, I mean, that's a little aggressive, but no, yeah. What the whole point of an easy pass lane is for you to keep moving. Why are you coming to a stop? Does it really make a difference what the message board is saying? I mean, it's the same as people too that go into the easy pass lane when they don't have easy pass, and then they just stop there and sit like some fairy is going to come down and like, where can I? Do you know where I can pay for it? Yeah, you're going to get billed. Get out of the lane. Stupid. It's not like you didn't have 800 miles of road before you got to the toll lane to decide which lane to choose. Like there's literally 15 of them, and they all say above it what kind of a lane it is. Like, I'm gonna go into this easy pass. Oh, I don't have easy pass. Well, really? No.
Mine was kind of lame, but let me go back to my real pet peeve because I actually experienced it coming here today. It was driving and someone's pulled over to the side of the road, and everybody's got a rubberneck to see what's going on the side of the road. Or if a cop has somebody pulled
Do you
over
roll down
and they
the window
want to
and
see,
yell out, "You can't park there"?
No, I've done that. But
I did that before.
Guy's car is on fire on the side of the road. His
Sir, there's no parking.
The smoke is coming out under his truck. You rolled down with, "Hey, buddy, you can't park there."
I did that on 287 about an hour and a half ago.
you got to record it though.
What about Blue? What's Blue's pet peeve? All right, Blue, you've been an engineer. You've been an engineer for quite some time.
Sure.
You have to go over to the microphone, so you got to talk into the microphone. I only know how to do laptop.
Go to the microphone. You don't gotta molest me like
other people that have blue hair.
No, I'm gonna say when
People who dye their hair red.
when people cut you off because they have to be in front of you, and then they do like 20 miles an hour and a 45. They weren't in that big of a hurry, were they?
You walk everywhere. You don't even drive your car.
Sometimes.
People with strollers on the sidewalk, they really get under my skin. Fuck them kids.
People who breathe. All right, Mo, I don't want to run. I don't want to run over. So could we go? Could we segue right into the Bobby the Blue Ninja movie review? Now, here's what I want to preface this with. The last movie review, I don't know what the name of the movie was and anything about the movie at all. I haven't watched this. He sent me in his second Bobby the Blue Ninja movie review. I don't know the movie. I don't know anything about the movie. I don't know who was in the movie. I don't know about the cinematography. What I'm hoping for is after this movie review, I know those things because that's what a movie review is.
Right. Should be,
best actress, actor.
Yeah, something. A little bit about the plot, a little bit about, no spoiler alerts, hopefully. But
so this is Bobby the Blue Ninja movie review.
This ought to be good.
Movie Ninja here. Oh my God! I just saw Sinners. Go see this movie. Scary as hell. Hell of a story. Wow! Wow, 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 wow! Poof! He's gone.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
So what we know, I think the name of the movie was Sinners. Is that right? Was it Sinners? Okay, not Spinners. That's a
Sinners.
totally. We don't review X-rated movies. We just do R or MT movie 17 or whatever that one is called. That one, what is that called?
PG-13?
No, MT and
NC-17?
Yeah, that one.
Never heard of it.
We don't do the triple X. So we didn't do Spinners. It was Sinners. And what was the review? It was good. And
Go see this movie.
yeah. So apparently I have to have a third conversation with Bobby the Blue Ninja about what I'm looking for in movie reviews. Because clearly my last conversation with him fell on deaf ears. And I don't know why they're all 30 seconds. What the point? I mean, I told him he could do like 2 minutes if he wants.
Right.
But both of them have been 30 seconds.
Give you a music, maybe something about the music, the plot,
Yeah,
the actors,
something.
actresses, the director,
Right.
something.
Yeah.
I got none of that. I
Movie
have
theater
no
was
idea.
dark and scary.
Yeah, I have none of that. I have no idea what it's about.
All right, so we got a few more minutes to go here because I have another show I'm doing at. I guess we're going to push it a little bit. The Politicast. We have
well, you can still make it depending on how much you have left. I
want to do the Wanted. Want to talk about the Wanted poster a little bit for people who don't know about that. We'll show that up. We'll put some pictures up, and then we're going to do plugs. And I think we're out of here.
All right.
So do me a favor. So this broad, I say broad, it's a term of endearment. Did a robbery with her boyfriend of the boyfriend's sister-in-law or something. Tried to steal an engagement ring. This, George, look up at the screen, George. This is the Wanted poster that the NYPD put out Do you think anybody's gonna look at her face or remember that face? Can you show a close-up of the picture they used, Mo, for the wanted poster? This is the picture that they put on the wanted poster.
Mike, try getting into your microphone there, Mike.
Mo, this is the
There you go.
picture.
There you go.
I was leaning back a little bit because the bosoms they were coming out of the screen. So imagine if you were the detective or the guy who. What are you doing?
So no, so the person that put this up, they just got bounced from their unit.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. What unit is that makes wanted posters? And how do you get in that unit?
It was a sergeant from the 115 squad.
Okay.
He got bounced because of that poster.
Because nobody has a sense of humor anymore?
Apparently.
They caught her the next fucking day. So apparently it works.
But what if that's the only picture that they have of her?
It's not, bro. All you
Or
have to do,
could they have done like
they had her name. All you have to do is go to her Instagram.
That's the only one with clothes on.
Well, all you had to do was go to her Instagram. There was a lot more pictures than that one up on the Instagram. So the sergeant got bounced.
Got bounced.
Does it say where he got bounced to?
No, I don't have that information right now.
He got motorboated out of there.
He went from being. He's in harbor now on a motorboat. Mo, he's in harbor now on a motorboat. This is why I miss the unknown, because you just never. It's unknown what he's going to say. People think it's unknown because he's wearing a mask. That's part of it. It's also unknown because you never know what he's going to say.
And you don't even know if he's saying it.
Yeah, it might not even be him. It could be Mo from the booth that's doing it. He just that might not even be a real. That could be like that fucking Chuck E. Cheese. That might not even be a real person.
Electronics.
Yeah, that thing. All right, so I think that so he's out of the. He's not.
He got bounced.
So a sergeant in the squad is a good
Bounced,
position.
yeah,
Sometimes you
that's
can get special assignments money.
That's correct.
If it's an
He's
lieutenant.
probably making lieutenant pay. He got bounced. He's done. He's done. And you know, this is going to go really bad for him wherever he goes. I mean, people are going to get a good laugh out of it, but I don't know if they'll put him back in the squad. I doubt it. The way
that's a shame because they caught her the next day. And I would say it was based on that picture out there.
I think that's an incentive. I think that picture was an incentive to catch her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I wouldn't have looked at the wanted poster any other way.
I have to find her.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's Waldo. Yeah. No, you know what? They're good.
Yeah.
Here's my other prediction. Okay. That lady, that woman, if not today, by tomorrow, will have an OnlyFans. And she'll be making, $300,000 or $400,000 a year. She'll
Absolutely.
have an OnlyFans because you got to capitalize.
This might be a positive thing for her.
Yeah, not for
him.
A
career changing thing for her.
Yeah. All right. Again, Blue. You're an engineer. If you want to be heard, you have to go over to the mic. We're gonna have to get a microphone, Mo, for her side over there and for her chair that she's relaxing in over there. What is she saying?
She says, I need one.
Yes.
You know what? I wish we had when Marianne from Brooklyn talks, they do the crawls. I wish we had something.
Well, no, the stomach is a
What can we? What sound effect can we use for any time?
I don't know. One that doesn't cost us money to Uzbekistan.
Oh no. That just cost us 7 cents. Yeah. All right, we're gonna do plugs, and then we're gonna be done, and then I'll be back in about 20 minutes with Politicast. That's a show about politics.
Okay, plugs. Who's going first?
We'll go with the unknown pig over there.
Well, speaking of pigs,
If you're not patrolling with the pig,
how about we go over to www.proudpig.blue? Because if you're not patrolling with the pig, you're doing it wrong.
Is he even saying that, or is that like
that's it.
a soundbite?
That's it.
I want to promote.
That's pretty good.
My friend Tommy Werther's company called Line of Duty Cigars.
It's very grimy that you.
No, I got that in there, Mo. You didn't know what I was going to do. Tommy's going to be very proud of me. I got that in there without you killing my mic. He's got a whole bunch of cigars coming in. They're on their way in from the Dominican Republic. Hopefully, he doesn't get hit with that tariff and the prices don't go up too bad. I think he said he's going to absorb them. He's going to absorb the prices and not raise his prices. And we all know what Line of Duty Cigars does. They don't donate monies to other charities, and they send cigars overseas to servicemen and women overseas. Really cool company, really cool dude. Line of Duty Cigars, Tom Werther. You're up, buddy.
Okay, so
Remember in the beginning of the show when you were trying to do a plug?
Yeah.
And then we said we could do it at the
Yep,
end of the show.
I'm doing it
I
now.
thought you'd be a little more prepared
I'm
because
doing it
this
now.
is the end of the show.
I just want to get it right.
Okay.
All right, so it's copsandkidsboxing.com. I work with the guys there, and I do the live streaming for the boxing. As you know, we've done some stuff together as well, and then I do the commentating for them. So, yeah. So basically, it's a charity. It's a not-for-profit charity. We take kids off the street instead of putting them behind bars. We partner them up with police officers, first responders, firemen, teachers. We put them in a boxing ring setting, and we mentor them. We make sure that they learn some kind of life skill, and we make sure that they don't get in trouble with the law. Most of these kids come from single-family homes, and they come from broken homes. They don't have a lot of money. We help them with schooling. If they do well with schooling, we also give them a grant. And then after that, we teach them boxing. And then we also have them when they get a little older, if they qualify to join the police department, we help them with that, fire department, EMS. And then, we make sure that they're educated. We set them out for life.
Do you get pushback from that? Because I remember when we were trying to do some boxing here in town, I was trying to start a boxing here in town, and I got people making comments about violence and this and that really don't understand what boxing truly really is. Discipline, self-worth, things that you can only, not the only way, but when you get in the ring, after you've been trained and you're taught things, and it's just you in there,
right?
That's when you find about yourself,
right?
And character.
I was telling
win
Ashley,
or lose, you find out.
But I was telling Ashley earlier about the program and the way it works is that sometimes you come off the street, and a lot of these kids have they have issues.
Right.
They come home, from single homes, single parent homes. Usually the dad's not in the picture. So these guys, a lot of times, they're very tough kids, and they go into a ring thinking they're gonna beat up a cop or something like that.
Right.
And then the cops are trained, and other kids that are in the program that are trained, and then they see once they get hit a couple of times, something happens in the brain that clicks, that they realize they're not as tough as they thought they were because they're getting outboxed, outsmarted, and then they realize then what happens is they become humble, and then they learn to learn.
And then they find out how tough they really are.
They really find out
That's
how tough.
how they find
And you know
out.
what? To tell you the truth, they become tougher being in the
Yes,
program,
absolutely.
but mentally tougher. And you need that mental toughness to go through life because you're not always going to get, that silver platter handed to you. So you're gonna have adversity during your life, and you learn those skills in that program. And I think they're great. Like I said, we turned out professional boxers from there, cops, EMS, firemen, and we're proud of the program, and it's a non-for-profit. So, if you can
say the website again so we can get
New York
the website.
City, I just want to quote it the right way. It's New York, copsandkidsboxing.com. And that's headed by Pat Russo and Dave Sieve. Those are the spearheads of that program. And I'm really, really proud to be associated.
I live my life by that. Look at this. Read that tattoo right there.
What defines
Oh my
us
God, more
is-
about me, less about you. Hey, I know you got an interesting story, but it's more about me.
It says what defines us is how well we rise after the fall.
Oh,
yeah, that's great.
Everyone
That's
he
awesome.
just made you read a tattoo off his arm.
I think that's a great tattoo.
Smell
but
my-
Ashley's been sitting there just staring at the unknown in just horror, like, what is it that I am in right now?
Well, Ashley's
In my world, this is an EDP.
Right. Well,
I'm
guess
waiting
what?
for it.
Actually, like we said, we have a lot of parallels in our world. It's a fucking EDP too, but one that we love. What would you do if that came into the emergency room? What's the needle that you give him right away? That gives him?
Oh, I'd ketamine him.
Oh, ketamine.
Right
Oh,
now.
special
You're
K.
going down.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Can I sniff it?
Don't threaten me with a party.
Yeah. Hopefully you get that before he gets to his chloroform.
Hey,
All right,
Doc,
so-
more ketamine.
Ashley, what would you like to plug?
Oh gosh, I didn't come prepared for this.
That's okay.
Um,
Did you watch the TV show Pitt
no.
with the guy from ER, Noah Wiley? He's in
No.
Pitt. Oh, because I asked an emergency room nurse, and she said it's the most realistic show. PITT. It's the name of they called that hospital the Pit.
Remember when you asked her what she wanted to plug, and then
Well,
you
I
just
was
got
giving
into a
her
story
time.
about what you're watching?
She said she
Bro,
wasn't
do you see what he
prepared, so
does?
I'm giving her a little. No, see, Josh, this is the nuance.
You filibustering?
Hey, Ashley, read my other tattoo.
Listen, George, Jay-Z. These are the nuances of being a host that somebody like this producer would not understand.
Right.
when your guest says I'm not prepared and they're struggling with an idea,
You got to fill in.
you do a little diversion.
Yeah,
There you go.
And then
bit.
you start talking about something
It
and it
gives
gives
her
them
time.
time.
Yeah.
And then you kick it back to
It's true.
them. And then you say,
Mo, I
what would you
gotta
like to plug
agree
today?
with Burke on this one. I'm sorry.
He's
but-
filibustering. All
I'm
right, I
sorry.
get it. I get it.
We'll call it
Filibusties. That was funny,
So,
right?
Back to Ashley.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to shout out the perinatal equity issue, or I forget the name of it, and I don't have my phone to even do the research. I'm really unprepared, but one of my podcast guests for tomorrow, her name is Charmaine Suchet, and she has started some work with underserved populations that are pregnant and having babies to really get them to move into prenatal care at a bare minimum, just so they have.
And that's on your podcast tomorrow.
Yes.
And where can the viewers that are watching today tune into that tomorrow?
We are going to be live on Instagram tomorrow. We have-
Instagram.
yeah. a
Why
couple
are we live
people-
on Instagram, bro?
We're working on that.
I found that my audience, they're Instagrammers.
So
Facebook is for old people. That's what I'm getting told.
But you know what? The
Yeah.
biggest, but
Great,
Facebook,
thank you.
Facebook and
Thanks.
Instagram.
Thanks for
now-
being so gracious after we invited you on to our podcast to say
I'm
our
not saying
podcast is for old people.
I'm not saying it. I wanted to do
Thank you.
Facebook, and I got advised that nobody would watch because the views
That's
are on
not true.
Instagram.
That's not true.
We do on a show like this, like a normal show where we're not having like somebody
This is normal?
semi-famous on.
Right.
Well, I mean, we'll do 4,000 to 5,000. I said this
Oh,
normal
wow.
show, and then they'll look what he puts up there. I love that. I was Halloween. I was that for Halloween.
It smells like it.
We'll do 4,000 to 5,000.
Oh wow! So that's
And
good.
then on a bigger show, like when we had Pat Lynch on, who was the president of the PBA, we did
Mhm.
40,000. We had Carol Shea on, who was an NYPD cop who posted in Playboy many, many years ago, did 15,000. So we get up there in views, and as we now, and that was when we were just on Facebook and only one Facebook page. Now each show has its own Facebook page, plus the podcast network has its Facebook page, and we're on YouTube. So that's really starting to spread, and little by little, you build your audience. So I wouldn't count Facebook out. I would get Facebook, YouTube. I mean, any social media platform that you can get on, I would get on. So you're on Instagram tomorrow.
Instagram tomorrow, and I got a lot of feedback from people that watch, and they want to talk about schedules. And I cracked up laughing because that was nearly the death of me when I was in administration, and I was
Scheduling?
pissed off all the time when I was a staff nurse about the schedule. So they want to talk about it. So I have a few guests coming on to really get it out there and
Nice.
tell us what they think.
Okay,
So
great.
we're
So
kicking off Nurses
what's that
Week
Instagram
bitching.
page called?
It's going to be from my page, Ashley Delia 1122.
Okay, and we're gonna put that link in the comments for people to click on it.
Already in there.
Okay, and I think we've done all our plugs. Next week is Nurses Week, which apparently nurses hate.
You gotta talk.
Nurses hate the into the mic.
Yeah, into the
Okay,
mic.
so apparently nurses.
I got you.
I know he wants to be critical of everything, but meanwhile he says, "Why don't you just lean against?"
Can
the
I
wall
ask
when
you a
talk?"
question?
No,
Can I
you
ask
may-
you a question?
No,
One
you may
question.
not. No, you
One
may
question. Before we go to the air, before we go off the air, if I'm back here, right, and
It sounds like you're down the street.
I don't want to ask him. I'm going to ask you, George. If I'm George Jay-Z, the architect, if I'm back here and I'm talking, right, and I can hear my voice clearly and loud enough in my headphones, is that the same audible level as what the home
No,
audience is hearing?
no. It sounds like somebody in the background.
Maybe I'm comfortable in the background. Maybe I don't. Everybody.
You're the host of the show.
But
I don't know.
everybody can't be Paul McCartney.
Yeah, but you're the host.
Somebody
of the show.
has to be George
You're
Harrison.
the voice of the show.
Somebody has to be the roadie.
I could be in the background because I'm just a guest. But you're the host.
All right, I'm the
You're
host.
the
This is
Howard
most-
Stern. You're
I'm
the-
no.
You're the Joe Rogan. You're the Joe Rogan.
I am
You know?
the Uncle Floyd. I would be Uncle Floyd. I'd be. Let me look over on my wall of fame over here and see what. I would be the Wolfman Jack. I would be the Howard Stern of 1985. I'd be that Howard Stern. WNBC.
Now let me ask you a question. Have those people been on here?
No, so this is my wall of. These are my people
Goals?
people that I was into that I watched. I told you when I grew up, when I was a kid, I wanted to be
Less
either-
about you, George. Less about you, more about me.
Anytime
Less
I
about
said
you,
no, he
more about
asked me the
I
question.
asked him.
He asked
In
the
all
question.
fairness, I did ask him. Mo.
He asked the question.
I want to know because
I
I'm
want
sure
to
there's
be-
people.
What
right
did
now
you
that are
want to be
watching.
when you grew up? What were your things that you wanted
A
to be?
baseball player.
All right, I want it to
Professional
be.
baseball.
I want it to be Evel Knievel.
Oh man,
legit,
that's sweet. I remember him.
Or I want it to be a wrestling, not a wrestler, a wrestling manager, like the Grand Wizard
Bobby
or
the
Lou
Brain.
Albano, Bobby the Brain. I want it to be a manager.
Yep.
Or I want it to be like a radio DJ / game show host.
I think you can still do that.
Game
Mo,
show
what do you
host.
think? I think he's got it.
Oh, don't trust me when I tell you I'm working out the logistics. We're gonna do a dating game.
Oh, that's
of
gonna
out of here. The Bachelorette is gonna be in that room. The
Oh my
Bachelors
God.
are gonna be out here. She's not gonna be able to see him.
So it's
we're
gonna be
gonna
like three guys hanging out right here.
With all the
Yes.
fucking losers that we know, who are you gonna
Yeah,
pick?
we're
today?
gonna do a dating. We're gonna do a dating game. No, I'm gonna get a really pretty girl and three homeless people. No, I'm not gonna do that.
La 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 la.
You know what I want to do really bad? Really bad? You ever see Billy on the Streets? Billy
Yes,
Eicher? Okay.
yes,
Billy
absolutely.
on the Streets. I want to do a take of that called Mike on the Beat.
Oh,
where
I like
I go
that.
out
I like
on the
that.
street, I just wear an NYPD hat and I run around doing crazy shit. And one of my bits was going to be called Maced in the Face. And then I have a mace, right? But only filled with like lemon juice or something,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And then I ask somebody like 5 questions. And then if they get 3 out of 5 right, they win. If not, they get maced in the face. But live things running around out on the street. Wouldn't that be fun? Maced in the face?
I think I'm gonna see you going to the hospital, and I think Ashley's gonna be taking care of all those bumps and bruises.
I don't care. Listen, I'm a frequent flyer. Everybody in St. Luke's Network knows who I am in St. Luke's Network. All right, that's a wrap. We're going to wrap it up now because this is getting to this bad stage right now where I just feel like there's a bunch of people hanging out and talking. And we
Bitch.